Hello and welcome to the Clodcast. This is a regular intro. Not gonna make Emilio or Roy do some stupid shit this time.
Also because Roy's not here.
Yeah, Roy's not here. He's just walking home from the pub right now, so we're just waiting on him. He will join somewhere in the middle of this. But as you have heard, I am here with Emilio.
I have my mic again. I'm not recording on a potato anymore.
Yeah, beautiful. And we have the other person who probably should have a CPL title but doesn't have one, Zeb.
Of course, you had to bring that up. Hello, it's me, Seb.
It's fucking insane to me that you don't. Like, you're better than me. I'm not gonna. I was just saying, like, you're just good, man.
I make sure habitual choker, and like I think it's 2 or 3 times Callum has.
Yeah,
like,
three times.
Has cock blocked you? Oh,
three
shit.
times Callum has cock blocked Zeb. It is insane. But basically, the people who know CPL have known CPL for a while. A lot of people are surprised that me and Zeb are 2 people who've been here very long and both do not have a title.
Yeah, I just checked. Next season will be my 10th. Obviously not as long as you, but that's still kind of insane.
Yeah. Anyways, we are here for the Clodsire Prs. Finally, last PRs we're recording, and then it's back to not 2-hour episodes anymore.
Weekly recaps, baby.
Yeah. We're gonna go to slide 6.
This is our div. This is our div, Zeb.
Yeah, it's your people's div. So, I'm gonna go to team number 16 and explain how we rank these teams for anybody who has not seen it yet, because I feel like some people only watch the PRs of their respective divisions. So, number 16 we have Fluvy X. As you can see, we rank PRs on 4 different scores. 1, essential roles. Does the team have every necessary typing? Are the speed tiers good? Is the removal and hazard setting good? And does the team have some overall big weaknesses? Then breaking power, obviously very self-explanatory. How good does the team break? Support is also very self-explanatory as well. How good does the team support itself and the mons in it? And problem solving should be called versatility, but we forgot, and it's gonna be called versatility next season. Basically, how versatile are the mons on the team?
If we remember.
Yeah.
We've said that like 2 seasons now.
Yeah, we'll probably forget again.
Yeah. I do also want to make it clear, I was not involved with the ranking. I'm just here to join the podcast.
Yeah, the rankings were done by me, Emilio, and Roy. For anybody who was wondering. The rest of the people who were in the other PR videos as well, they were just basically talking about the PRs with us.
Yeah. The way we did it is all 3 of us kind of gave our own ranking for each role, and then we took the average and we made that the official score.
Yeah. Basically, everybody made their own ranking, and then we averaged it out, and that's how the scores come out. So, for Fluvy, number 16, the essential roles, first of all, they have every typing except fighting, which fighting is not a necessary typing. I like fighting. I like having a fighting type on the team, but it's not like a necessary typing like a steel or a fairy type, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, the fairy is a tink-a-tink. So, like...
We're gonna... Yeah,
we're gonna get to that.
We're gonna get to that,
yes.
Yeah. Speed tiers wise, the bottom speed tiers look pretty good. There's no big gaps there, but you have a big gap between Chiyu and Cyclozar. 115 speed mons and the mons between 115 and Cyclozar speed tier will be adamant or modest, and obviously you're trying to avoid stuff like that.
Yeah, the big one, or the biggest one, is Iron Valiant.
Yeah.
There are different others, but like it's the big one that can go like ad or modest.
Yeah. Exactly. Iron Valiant is like one of the most offensive threatening mons in the draft currently for like with the tiers we have. So letting that run adamant or modest is very scary.
Yeah.
Of course, it's just an example, but like there are still a bunch of mons within that speed tier that can just
and I mean the actual best one is obviously Zeb Strike Up.
Yeah.
Of course, Zeb. Of course.
Because it has the same speed tier as Valiant.
For removal, you have two good spinners, I would say. Cyclozar and Brambleghast are definitely spinners that are passable. Cyclozar more so than Brambleghast, but I feel like Brambleghast will come a matchup probably because it also is the only... no, it's not the only spike setter because my doc is wrong. Gligar also gets spikes. Which the hazards are better than they look right now because Gligar also gets spikes and T-spikes.
I will say, I don't think either Cyclozar or Bramble is good removal. I think both are like super mid, but at least you have two options and and technically you also have Gligar.
Yeah.
But it's still, at least it's 3 mid to bad options. It's better than some teams probably has. Like you have options even if they're not great.
Yeah. And you have...
I think Psych is a viable spinner. They're better ones, but I think it's all right.
It's fine. It's bad if it's your worst one. In PAL decks, having Cyclozar best spinner is fine, but in Nat decks, there's enough other options that you should be able to get a better one.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose.
One thing I also want to mention about the hazards. The hazards are probably the best thing about these central rules, aside from the typings being filled up pretty well. They are not forcing Gligar into rocks. Gligar can freely run spikes a lot of the times because they have easy rocks with Cleavor.
Is it Terra Cleavor?
The Terra captains are, yes, Cleavor, Electrode, and Tinkaton. Now, the reason why the essential rules are so bad is, for one, the fairy type is Tinkaton. Tinkatuff.
Tink. Or no,
yeah,
not Tinkaton.
It's the mini mini Tinkaton. And that being your soul fairy is pretty awful for one. Then you have
not a good mod.
Yeah, you have a few big weaknesses. One, your ground type weakness is very, very there. You have a Brambleghast to resist, and you have Gligar that is immune. But if half of your
I
mons
personally
are
don't think
ground weak,
Brambleghast. Yeah, like half of his mons are ground weak. I don't think Brambleghast is a must come every like kind of game, and a lot of that head like weight just falls on the Gligar. And 9 times out of 10, his Eviolite's just gonna get knocked off, and because of all the switching, and then he's just gonna become super frail.
Yeah.
And then
like having, I don't think I mean, the bottom 2 ground weeks barely matter, but the biggest thing is like most weeks your teams will be 3 ground weeks and 1 resist or immunity, and that's a big problem. And like, I will say, Mola helps. Like Mola can tank EQs for days, so that helps. But it's still not great when you're like always basically forced into Mola or Gligar.
Yeah.
And that means like slap a toxic and Mola, and then suddenly like if Mola ever gets slightly chipped, like any like strong ground type can just run away with the game.
Yeah, those are 2 really knock weak mons. Like you knock those boots off, you knock the Eviolite off, then it's like residual damage with the hazards. No Eviolite, you're not taking shit, so
yeah,
it's not preferable.
The big thing about the ground weaknesses as well, not the physical ground types, it's the ones that hit specially. Because if you look at the special defensive side, obviously they have Slowking, which is good, special defensively, and Shiu can take a special hit, but those 2 are both ground weak. The rest of the mons are especially pretty frail, actually, if you look at it.
Yeah. I mean, luckily there are not that many special grounds. I don't think I think of like on the top of my head are Lando Eye and Sandy Shocks.
Yeah.
But that's still obviously
Mega Camera Up, baby. Mega Camera Up got drafted in all 3 divs, I'm just saying.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's also like a big fighting weakness. Obviously, you have the Slowking and to take hits and Gligar. There's also Bramble being the immunity. But one thing I've always mentioned with Slowking, although it is a 4 times resist, most fighting types get either dark or ground coverage. So that's a thing to be careful of. You at least have more than just Slowking as a resist. Some teams only have Slowking or Slowbro as a fighting resist, so that's fine. And your bottom tiers are all weak to fire.
I mean, again, that doesn't really matter. Like,
I don't think
that
matters much.
You can basically just remove the weaknesses of Tinkatink, and also, I mean, basically almost the bottom 4 remove, and like it doesn't change much.
Yeah, but the big problem is Dragon Spam is very viable into this team because if you are playing your team to its best ways, Tinkertuff is not coming often, if ever.
Ever.
And your only Dragon Resist will be Melmetal. And Melmetal doesn't have recovery. You have Aloe to help that, yes. But it's not always easy to get a Wish Pass into the Melmetal.
Very true.
Yeah.
So
I will say, I'm surprised breaking power is that low.
yeah, I think I rated it a little higher. For one, the top mons hit very hard, but the bottom mons are basically just there.
I guess that's fair. But I feel like one of the best physical attackers and one of the best special breakers. Like, obviously, the bottom could have been better filled out with like more power, but just having those two helps a lot.
Yeah.
And Cleaver's also like a pretty decent one, like a secondary to help Melmetal break the steals.
Yeah, I mean, like
Between them.
like Melmetal, Chiyu, like Cleavor, but then there's also shit like Aloe and Gligar, and I don't think Brambleghast is that. I mean, Poltergeist is a really good move, but like
It has like 115 attack, I think.
Yeah,
that's one of the few things like where Brambleghast is actually decent.
Yeah, attack is its best stat, and Power Whip, and Poltergeist actually do hit pretty hard from that mon.
Yeah, just better hope you don't miss.
Yeah, but a lot of the offensive mons are. A lot of the rest of the offensive mons outside of Melmetal, Chiyu, and Cleavor are situational offensive mons. Like, for example, Arctozolt only works if you're under really works if you're under snow. Then the Brambleghast needs to be invested to hit very hard, and sometimes you might want it defensively. Cyclozar needs setup to hit hard, and Electrode needs to get the Terra off to hit hard, because Bolt Beam coverage obviously is amazing, and you can run its specs or like damage item because of its speed, but it also might struggle to break sometimes.
It needs an item to kind of like boost itself up a little bit. Well, we're talking about Electro too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 80 special attack is still 80 special attack. Like, it needs like a life orb or specs or something to do some damage. It's got some nice just being a Terra Captain gives it nice coverage and some nice flexibility, but
yeah. Support wise, this team is set up pretty good though. You obviously have a lot of momentum on, and you have slow momentum in Slowking. You have the snow to help the Arctozolt actually be a mon. You have fast screens by Electrode. You have lots of hazards. You have good knockoff mons and a lot of taunters. You have wish passing. The only thing you don't have is a cleric. But I feel like this team is going to be fine because, like, Immunity Gligar can eat poison, Paras can be eaten by Electrode and such. So we'll be probably pretty fine.
I also like the Trick Room mode. This thing. I mean, Melmetal and Trick Room also kind of goes if they ever want to go that route. So that's cool.
Yeah, and although with that said, like this team actually would sort of appreciate a cleric, mainly just because of Mola, because like Mola will be kind of forced to switch into a lot of things because this team lacks some resistances.
Yeah.
So like, there's a very good, for example, Mola will often be the ground switch in. If Gligar is not good enough to come to a game, like if the ground type has knock, then Mola will likely be the ground switch in. And if the ground then carries Toxic, that means, like, obviously Mola's region mon it can get around Toxic, but it will still be tough.
Hindered. Yeah, it'll be hindered.
Yeah. But there's enough here that you're, like, not that weak to it. You can play around it.
Yeah. Problem solving is the worst part about this team, though, because, like, a lot of mons are not that versatile if you look at the bigger picture. For example, Melmetal, yes, it can be defensive AV, but it's like, Melmetal, it can take physical hits and it will deal a lot of damage. Arctozolt can...
I don't know, Melmetal's probably the biggest problem solver here.
Yeah, just because of straight damage, though.
Other than that, I don't see too much.
Then you have Slowking, which will use Trick Room, Chili, like generally be like a regen mon. Cyclodes are there to spin and U-turn, Electrode screens, or be like offensive with Terra. Chiyu is specially offensive mon, has some niche like Sub, Willow, Ruination sets. Brambleghast is there to spin and be annoying, sometimes deal damage. Cleavor is there to get up easy rocks and deal damage. Gligar is going to be defensively. Tinkertuff is not a mon. Aloe is the Wish Passer. Arctozolt is like a offensive mon in any situation.
I said Tinkertuff is not a mon.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it comes to the game. Like, if it comes to a game, that means something bad has happened, and like, and that means the match has been really poor that you're forced to bring it.
Yeah, like the biggest problem is like a dragon type like Garchomp keeps this team alive.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Especially if like there are ways you can build them on like Garchomp to really take advantage of Mola and Gligar as well.
Yeah. Like Draco spam is gonna get a bit very annoying because you're gonna have to run AV Melmetal against, like, for example, let's say Emilio's Latios.
I mean, the Draco switching is more than likely Glowking, I'd say.
Yeah, but like if Glowking, like, you don't want to switch Glowking into a potential Psyshock, for example.
I mean, it's regions, like kind of just slap it in. If it's not specs, you can kind of stay in and threaten T-Wave.
Yeah,
if it's specs, then you could just go to Mola next turn. Like, that is one of the positive with this team is that because you have like Mola, Glowking, and to an extent Cyclodsire, you can afford to make, like, to some extent you can afford to like make mistakes.
Yeah. In
like switching or like making bad calls because you can just reach them back up.
Yeah,
exactly.
And like Glowking switching in, or like Mola can like switch into basically anything that's not like stab T-Bolt or stab whatever, and take the hit even if it's like a strong special move, and then switch back out and be fine later in the game. That's at least like a way to like help problem solve.
Yeah. I think this team definitely has positive points, and it will win games, definitely. But for right now, like for the straight up power rankings, it's at number 16. Which brings us...
like overall, I do. No, oh wait.
You can finish your sentence.
Oh.
I mean, it was about the former team.
You can still say it. I can go back.
Yeah, I mean yeah. I do want to say, like, the team is like the top 5, 6 is very solid. If you just round out like the other top a lot better, it could be a much better team, because I still think it's a fundamentally pretty solid team. Like, if this is the worst team in Clodsire, I don't think that's that bad.
Exactly.
It just means like almost every game will just be mostly just be like your top 5 pivoting between, like, you throw Glowking, chill into Chiyu, threaten something, you kill something, they revenge it, you go into Mola, you flip turn into Melmetal, and like every game will kind of just be that dance, and it depends on like how well you're able to do that.
Exactly. This team has definitely positives and will win games, and it is the best worst team in all of the power rankings.
Yeah.
Which brings us to number 15, Arrow, aka what some people call him, the Zeb fanboy, because he copied Zeb's team last season.
Yeah.
Do you know Arrow, like was that like a thing, or did he just randomly just look at the doc, pick one team, and just go, yep?
No, what actually happened, like, he randomly picked the first, I think it was the first 3 was by complete accident, and then I or someone else said, "Oh wow, you're just copying me from last season." And then after that, like right after round 3, he did it deliberately.
Okay.
So it wasn't on purpose from the start. Like, we didn't plan that ahead. That was just like a big coincidence.
Big coincidence. Oh shit.
Yeah. Let's get into the essential roles for this team. Typings wise, they're missing a grounded poison type, which for this team,
I remember hating this game.
Can be pretty annoying. Since while a lot of mons they have two clerics, which I will get into support later. They're not good clerics.
What's the second one?
Oh,
he's by Glade? Does Glade get it?
No, Jolteon and Wigglytuff.
Oh, Jolteon, that's... Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you know how bad the clarity
Right,
is.
Yeah.
Bro said, "Is it Galley?" You know, you're kind of real for that.
Yeah.
I mean, Glade gets like an insane move pool, so like I wouldn't be surprised. Like,
I
it's
wouldn't be
like
surprised either.
Yeah.
I think it gets Wish, so
Yeah, it gets like Wish, like it just gets a bunch of like support moves it will never use because it's a big Glade.
Yeah. The speed tiers are pretty fine, like if you look at the top, but then there's a huge gap between 92 and 66.
92 to 66, bro.
That's a massive gap you
That's
don't really want to have. Because
That's
there's some
fucking
really
huge.
strong Pokemons around the 80s and like 75s.
By the way, this team's flying resist
Yeah.
purely Jolteon,
Yeah,
and it's Terra Jolteon. I'm pretty sure, right?
let me double check. I'm pretty sure it is though. It's Terra Jolteon and Terra Crocodile.
Okay, so like no flying resist.
Yeah. You don't have your flying resist is basically Jolteon, and Jolteon is not very defensive. So that's a huge issue. And then your hazard setting is very awful. It's basically Crook, because Wigglytuff is not coming a lot of games. You don't want to force Gren into spikes. Can run in if like a move slot fills up, but a lot of the times it wants its 4 moves.
Yeah.
And then
So the hazard
Also, why again? Look at the fairy type.
yeah,
it's a
Fairy
bit
type is
the Wigglytuff. Yes, it is.
Wigglytuff is more real than Tink, but only by like barely. Like it still shouldn't really come to a game, except because like maybe the pulse game.
yeah. And
Game.
while you have a good steel type in Scizor, the problem is a lot of dragon types actually carry fire coverage. Like, for example, Latios carries Mystical Fire, Garchomp gets Flamethrower, Fire Fang. Like, there is a lot of fire coverage around the dragon types, so, Scizor might not be the best switch in.
No. Can we talk about the removal too while we're at it?
Yeah, the
Talk
removal
about shit.
is Salamence and Scizor,
Yeah.
which both don't like running Defog normally. Salamence obviously wants to be an offensive mon. It can be like a supportive set with like Wish, because it can viably run that. I have shown that last season, although Emilio didn't believe it.
Don't care.
And then
Like-
Scizor as well, which also a lot of times runs into like 4 move slot syndrome. You want Bullet Punch, you want U-turn. Sometimes you want Sword Dance, Roost, like
Knock off, CC.
Yeah.
exactly. So your
Like
removal mons won't run removal, and you have basically one mon that is reliably setting up hazards for you.
yeah, I mean, I do think like on a paper, I don't like think either of that necessarily bad removal. Like I think defog, like bulky defog intimidate Salamence is underrated.
Yeah, definitely.
And on this team, it probably will be forced to be that role.
Yeah.
The biggest issue, I think, is like usually if you have bad removal, you either want like heavy offensive pressure or you want like good hazard setters yourself. This team kind of has neither.
Yeah.
So, like it's pretty, and especially the T-Specs weakness makes it just even worse.
We can, since you mentioned it, we can immediately go into the breaking power. Physically, the team is pretty well stacked. You have Salamence, you have Crook, you have Mega Gallade, and Scizor. But then you look on the special side, and a lot of mons, like, your strongest special attackers are all 110, which is 3 mons. Salamence, which mostly is going to be physical or defensive on this team, as Zeb has mentioned. Then Skeledirge, which wants a Torch Song up to be really threatening and is mostly in a defensive role. Same with Tangrowth, which is mostly going to be in a defensive role. Then you have Terra Jolteon, which, yes, with Bolt Beam it can hit hard. And obviously Gren, which Gren's attack set is always like, it looks worse than it is, because Gren has a shit ton of coverage and protein, or Battle Bond.
And Battle Bond as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree that like
Yeah.
basically all your main 2 special attackers are both like cleaners with Gren and Jolteon, or
Yeah.
revenge killers. Like you don't really have physical. You have it covered. Special, not so much.
Yeah, this is where the problem comes to. You do not have immediate special breaking, like nothing that immediately comes in and threatens something
And,
on the
like,
special side.
Threatens like threatens
I mean,
in this build.
occasionally Gren can do that, but it has to have the right matchup for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not. But
And,
other
like,
than that, I mean, it's still fine breaking power, which is why
oh yeah,
7.
like physical
Yeah.
helps it enough, and it still has like two like or 2 to 3 have viable special attackers depending on how you feel about like scale judgments. Besides Jolteon and obviously Greninja.
Yeah. For the support, the hazard support, obviously, as we've mentioned before, is not good. But you have a good amount of momentum. You have lots of knockoff, some good taunters. You have wish passing with 3 mons technically, because Wigglytuff gets wish, Jolteon gets wish, and Salamence gets wish. Although Jolteon
4 months,
none of
Gallade
them-
as well.
oh, Mega Gallade.
Delayed is.
But if
But
we're being
problem
honest, it's
Problem is that
Salamence
none of
and
them are
Wigglytuff.
very good. None of them are very good at it.
Wigglytuff's actually a good wish passer because it has massive.
That's basically
Massive
all Wigglytuff
HP.
does.
Right, but Wigglytuff's still bad.
Yes, that's the issue. Like Wigglytuff's a dog shit mon, so like.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's one thing it has. It is a good wish passer.
Yeah.
Or it. Yeah.
You obviously have, as we've mentioned before, Wigglytuff and Jolteon as clerics, but they're not good clerics, but you have them. So we can't rate the support low, because if they want to run some specific support, they have it. They also have like screens on Jolteon and stuff. And obviously, Skelders love spreading willows. So it's not necessarily bad, but there's definitely stuff you could fix about it. For example, getting better hazard setters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like and also like a real fairy or a real poison will also help a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like this, like sometimes you can go without a grinder poison if your team has amazing removal, or if it has like a lot of like flyers, levitators, or like things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
This team hates T-spikes. Like Gren hates it, Gallade hates it, Tangrowth hates it, Crook hates it. If Jolteon hates it, like.
I think it's especially bad considering a lot of the offensive ones you hands like cleaning stuff up, and if they are toxic, they can be stalled out of the cleaning, for example.
Yeah.
And
again, like with the removal being made, like
yeah,
if you just have a good poison up, just clicking Toxic Spike might just win you the game almost.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be a bit of an exaggeration, but like it's still like such a big problem for this team.
Yeah.
When it's such an easy available, just click a move and suddenly you look so much better into them.
Yeah. Problem solving is also pretty decent. While Jolteon is gonna be screens or offensive, Gren has a shit ton of variety in sets. Mega Gallade mostly offensive again. Salamence has a very good variety: defensive, offensive, special, physical.
Yeah, Moxie, Intimidate, 2 very good abilities.
Crook is gonna Crook, Moxie, also Moxie, Intimidate, defensive or offensive. Skeletor, same thing, defensive or offensive. Same with Scizor. Tangrowth has some variety in its move pool, although it's mostly gonna be defensive. And Wigglytuff is there to wish pass.
And also, just even another problem when talking about hazards. Like, Crook is a decent rocker, but Crook also loves spamming, like, Scarf or even, like, Band occasionally. I don't think... I mean, it can Silver and Rocks on that set, but it's not something, like, you want to run. Like, you're kind of forced into like, a non-choice Crook most of the time, and that hinders it a lot.
Yeah. Obviously, you can technically run Scarf Crook with rocks, but it's like a detriment since you take away a move slot it could use offensively.
Also, you gotta swap out after you click it.
Yeah.
Free turn for the op.
Exactly.
I'm also curious how Terra Crook will fare. I know it might be Terra Jolt in most games, and I think Terra Crook is decent, but I haven't actually seen it much.
I mean, it gets scale shot. It gets scale shot and bulk up, which could be pretty nice with like a Mox.
True.
So.
But again, that means you're not running hazards.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you just had a had another hazard setter to like help out the rest of that, it would help a lot.
Exactly. But that's basically the sum up for Arrows team number 15, which gets us into number 14, BGC.
Might need to speed this up a little though.
Yeah.
That's true.
Typings wise, you're not missing any essential typing. As I've mentioned before, fighting is nice to have, but it's not necessary. Speed tiers are pretty fine. The only big gap is like Grafai to Darm, but it's an okay gap because I think only mons that are like 109 will run modest and spec, so it's an okay gap to have.
I personally have a bigger gripe with it just because I don't know. I don't
think a single mon is in between 95 and 110. They can run anything else.
It's only mons that are 109 speed, I think.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then you obviously have the gap between Mandibuzz and Gudra, but 70 isn't okay. Like, that gap is okay to have. The big problem is, again, hazard setting. While Deoxys defense sets hazards good, it's going to be basically your only hazard setter because Mega Camerupt is an offensive mon. Yes, it can fit rocks on, because it mostly only needs Fire Blast and Earth Power. But it's not easy to click it on a mon that has a 410 weakness.
4x weakness to water, 4x weakness to ground. Not ground. Wait, no, I'm tripping.
Only 4x to water.
There you go. What the fuck was I thinking of? I was thinking of Aggron.
Yeah. Removal-wise, you have a good defogger in Mandibuzz. You have two defoggers that can back it up in Coco and Cramorant. And then you have a decent spinner in Delmise. So generally speaking, the essential rolls are pretty good. You also don't have any real big weaknesses except Rock. Rock is pretty bad. That Rock weakness is pretty bad. But most of the mons that are Rock weak will run Boots anyway, or your removal is decent enough to remove it. So like the Stealth Rocks.
I think it's more of like an offensive problem if you want to like nitpick at that, because it's just like still one resist.
Yeah.
There's Gudra, and it's like Gudra's alright. It's pretty good, but it's like the coverage thing all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
So pretty walk weak.
Breaking power wise, physically we have Coco, Darm, G, which is an amazing breaker, and then we have Delmise, which hits very hard. Technically, Mega Camerupt has physical sets, as we've mentioned before in the other PRs, but it's going to be special most of the time because the special sets are more laid out for the sheer force. And then especially we have Iron Bundle, Coco, Gudra Hisui, and obviously the Mega Camerupt again.
Yeah, this... I mean, it's a good one, but it's mostly just limited to Garm physically. I know Coco can run physical sets, but it's definitely running special sets most weeks.
Yeah.
So Garm is a good one, but it can be an awkward one just because of obviously because it's mandated into choice scarf, which can make it like rough to try and predict, and it might not always be like a good breaker because if people like pretty correctly around the which move you look into, it's going to be tough to
it's very easy to play around. Not easy to play around, but it's you could play around it.
Yeah.
But why the breaking power is so high, considering there's not a lot of physical attackers, is what I'm gonna transition into support. The combination of Coco and Bundle. Having Bundle in basically permanent electric terrain is very amazing, because you can run Boots and still get like a special attack boost or speed boost through Coco. And that is a very nice thing to have on such an offensive threatening mon like Bundle, because no single mon resists both of its prevalent attacking moves, Hydro Pump and Freeze Strike, except for like niche
Lapras.
Mons. Yeah, like Lapras, Walrein, niche mons like that, Dugong, or like
Volcanion.
Water absorbs like water types that have water absorb or storm drain that are Terra Steel, for example. It's like niche stuff that resists Iron Bundle.
Yeah, so it's pretty often it's pretty scary.
Yeah, I do think maybe not here, just in general. Cocoa Bundle is a little bit overrated. Like, it's very good. Obviously it's very good, but it's still...
Yeah.
Normally it just makes it like Bundle gives you speed boost, and like it was usually always the fastest one on the field anyway, but
yeah,
it's still also just a great pairing to have.
Yeah. Personally, I enjoy Cocoa Moth more, but I get the appeal on Cocoa Bundle.
Yeah.
I'd also like to mention the Trick Room mode this thing has with the Axis Defense Mega Camera.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to go into its support. This team has lots and lots of momentum, first of all. So it will get in the threats easier. Lots of taunt, good knockoffs, and then obviously the Trick Room mode with Deoxys defense into Mega Camera, because Deoxys defense can Trick Room and then minus priority teleport out, which keeps the Mega Camera healthy and gets it into a good position. Adding to that Trick Room mode, it's not only Mega Camera, Dhelmise and Trick Room is very scary.
And 31 attack, baby.
Yeah. And then you obviously have Coco supporting with the E-Terrain, the Bundle, and the Grafai, which can run Unburden if it wants to.
Screen support is there.
Hazard support is obviously weaker on this team, but it's okay, I guess. Considering like the rest of the support is pretty good.
Yeah. Removal is good, and I mean, if there's any time you want to like one mon to have hazards, DFD is a fine one to be like that one mon. Obviously, you would rather at least get another rocker or another spiker, but at least like the one mon that has hazards is a very good hazard setter.
Yeah. Problem solving is where this team has its lowest points, because a lot of these mons have a set role on this team and will probably run this set role. Bundled Special Attacker has like Encore it can run, for example, or Taunt on the last move, but it's going to be offensive. Coco is going to support, can run offensive, of course, but like mostly going to be support or a niche setup set. Grafai, a prankster being annoying, or offensive with Unburden. Yeah. Dharm is going to be offensive, DOD is going to be defensive, Cramorant is going to be annoying to deal with if you don't have a real answer to it. Mandibus defensive, Gudra Hisui mostly defensive with like niche offensive sets it can have. And then Dhelmise defensive or offensive in Trick Room here, and Mega Camera is going to be offensive in Trick Room.
I feel like the only one that actually has like good set variety here is mostly Coco.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Coco can like kind of mix and match, but then like the bug standard like boots, T-Ball, Gleam, Uter, Roost. It can throw on like Coal Mine. It can be the screen support set. But other than that, like everyone is kind of just like set into one role.
Yeah. Obviously, there's like certain niche sets, like for example, as I've mentioned, the Unburdened Grafai. It's mostly going to be like a Prankster mon if you bring it.
Yeah. Like DOD also, like DOD has a lot of sets it can run, but on this team it kind of can't, because it kind of has to run just like full on support rocks or like hazard setter. Yeah.
Yeah. Generally speaking, this team is pretty good, though. I feel like it's a good balance of fast offense, slow offense, and defense. Obviously, this team would be a lot better with more hazard setters than DOD. But I feel like in general, this team is pretty good with what it wants to do.
Yeah.
It works.
Well, I do feel like it's a bit weird to... I don't know why, like, Garm was the, like, physical breaker of choice when you already had a bundle.
Yeah.
Like, it can be fine, but it definitely can be an issue. Like, this team has a good breaker, or a good spinner, or removal. But at the same time, like, you're kind of forced to constantly remove to allow both your two, like, big offensive pieces. Especially both choice. And, like, you just constantly have to remove and put... Like, this team kind of wants to play, like, more aggressively with the top three. And then you also constantly have to be in the back to defog, to not let your big breakers get weakened by rocks.
I feel like there's definitely better choices than Darmji for this team, but I guess they really wanted it. Also, the Terra captains here are Grafaya and Cramorant, which is not the best Terra captain choice, I would personally say.
Oh yeah, that's also very mediocre, especially compared to other teams.
Yeah.
Cramorant's kind of fire. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but that is number 14, BGC. Number 13 is now
Is it
Star
good?
Maiden.
I failed Ben for real. How did you
Yeah, Star Maiden was on the Draft Wars team for my team, and they said they
Oh.
failed me.
I failed Ben for real.
Rip.
Losers.
Anyways, let's get into the essential roles. Typings-wise, you have every important typing except I think fire, and I'm gonna get into that because since you don't have a fire type, your steel type doesn't resist fairy. Your only fairy resist is Swalot. 1 point mon, which you
Oh yeah, I was about to say yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was about to say I don't think fire's a necessary type at all, but then I looked at the team and looked at the steel type and think, yeah, this team really needed either steel or like a fire to be the fairy resist.
Adding to that, you have a lot of ground weakness. While you have 2 ground immune Pokemon, one is a levitate Rotomon.
The 2 ground weaks are Swallowed and the Cloth.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Cloth,
The
yeah.
ground weaks is like a positive.
It's fake. It's pretty fake.
Well, it's not. I guess it's not ideal because like Swallow is not a real flying ground resist, but it's definitely not like you're just mostly neutral.
It'll be fine. Yeah. Okay.
The Terra captains for this team are, by the way, Swallow and Brotomo, both of the ground immune Pokemon.
It'll be Swallow every week. It's fine.
Yeah.
But Swallow has some bad weeks, so I could also see like Word of Mode using it pretty well with like Terra Steel or Terra like or
Maybe
whatever.
a little defensive Terra.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Considering
Yeah, like those are like 2 very good caps compared to, especially compared to like when we just went through like the Fire Cramorant, and we now go to Swallow Word of Mode. The level of difference between Terra caps is pretty big.
Yeah. Talking about the ice and fighting weakness real quick, they look worse than they are. They are not that bad. Fighting, you have an immunity, you have a quad resist, you have niche Swalot if you want to bring it. And for the ice resist, you have Cobalion, which can take an ice move, and same with Samurott Hisui.
And like I said, the two of the ice weaknesses are both Terra. Well, I mean, Swallow's still not going to take an ice beam if you Terra normals, but Rotom definitely can if you Terra out of it.
Yeah. Speed tiers wise, it's pretty good. The one gap that looks that is a little annoying is the 108 to 125 gap, which will allow some like mons with like 120 to 123, I think, to run Adamant or Modest, which there aren't a lot of mons in that speed tier, but they can.
And
Yeah,
on like Torn.
Yeah.
Cobalion feels like kind of like a fake speed tier to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's mostly going to be defensive, probably, but
That's how I feel, at least.
I've used Cobalion, and there are definitely a lot of times where you actually want run speed. Like, you often run, like, max speed, max HP, and just, like, rely on the natural defense set so that
Actually,
you can...
both, yeah.
So that you can just, like, against, like, a lot of the mons that you, like, want to check, you're faster than them, and you can attack before them, or, like, taunt them, or KO them, or whatever.
Yeah. Hazard setting, rock setting is amazing. You have 4 rock setters, which all can reliably run rocks. And you have Garchomp for spikes. T-Specs you only have Swallow, but I think it's fine. Removal-wise, you have 1 good Defogger, 1 good Spinner, and 1 Mon that will not run Defog at all in Swallow.
It should also be noted that it also has Magic Bounce.
Yeah, that is...
Pattern. So, like...
They do have Magic Bounce, which helps with the low amount of removal, so it's pretty good. The big thing about why it's only 7 is the fairy weakness, obviously. The only resist being Swallowed.
Yeah.
Let's go. Breaking power on this team, though? It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. Physically, you have Gut Swallow, you have Garchomp, you have Samurott Hisui, and like niche Cobalion sets. Even like a niche Cloth when it's good in 1 week with like Anger Shell can put in work. And then especially you have Spectre, Terra Swallow, Rotom, Terrapago, Hatterene, and also Samurott Hisui can run special. Probably won't because Sharpness Physical is just better, but it's there as an option.
Dude, you said Gut Swallow, and I never see it. I totally forgot it existed for like half a second.
Because
the only negative I'd say with breaking power, the only negative thing I'd say is like most of it is setup reliant. to actually like. A lot of them, they can't like besides like Samurott, which is almost like more support than actual breaking. Like for the rest of them, it's like Garchomp wants a Stee, Spectre wants to Colmeter, or Plot, Terapagos wants to Coal Mine or Meteor Beam. Even like Cobalion and Hatterin both want to set up. The only one that has like immediate power, to some extent, is Swellow.
Yeah, yes
Spectre,
and no.
well.
I also think Garchomp can be very immediately threatening.
Fair.
It
I guess.
It obviously loves its
Well, like
skill shot
130
sword
attack
stance
is-
set.
yeah.
You can just straight up run a jolly choice band Garchomp and let it deal a lot of damage if you want to.
It's still 130 attack, you know.
Yeah. Support this team has a big weakness. While the hazard support is good, they have little amount of momentum. They have 4 momentum mons and
2 of them are Volt Switch.
2 of them are Volt Switch, which can be taken by ground types. Although ground types will mostly not switch into Rotomo. But yeah. Then you don't have a heal bell or aromatherapy. You don't have wish passing in a team that really would appreciate, since the only mon with recovery on this team is Painslit Rotom and Roost Swallow. And technically like Draining Kiss Spectre if you want to count that.
Terapagos and Chomp fucking love Wish.
Yeah, especially
the only
like something
thing
like
that I
Rotom.
feel like can help is occasionally like, healing with Shattering can be good.
Yeah, occasionally. But, most of the time, you're not.
But with this kind of with this kind of team, like I know, like you said, like Chomp and Pegos like it, but like just looking at the team, this is definitely a much more offensive leaning team. So like, I don't think the like no recoveries are as big of an issue because like this team is not trying to play long games.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Look, having the option would be good. So like it's
pivoting.
pivoting is definitely a bigger issue. Like compared to like I don't think. I mean, and again, like if you had the option for like at least one mon with like good longevity and healing, that would be better than having none, which the team currently has.
Yeah. Emilio just brought it up. This team is very offensive, but has little momentum, which is the biggest downfall. Since with offensive teams, you want hazards and you want lots of momentum to threaten stuff out and immediately get momentum again to keep putting on pressure and getting kills. And this team,
to basically keep it your turn for as long as possible, and it doesn't have the momentum to really play that way.
Yeah, if you have an offensive team, you want to hold the advantage in the match as much as possible, and this team sadly does not do that.
Yeah, it can sometimes. There is also forgot to it's not on there. Forgot to mention Flipper and Hammer. So it's not actually that bad. It's mainly just like the bit. Oh, you didn't mention. You only mentioned Volt Switch.
I didn't.
Obviously.
We mentioned because 4 of the momentum on 2 are Volt Switch.
Oh yeah, that was either. I think it's the bigger issue is like your top 3 all not having it is, and those should be come to every game. And like Hammer, to be fair, usually doesn't want to click Flipper and doesn't want to spam its Caesar's Edge. So like positioning could be a bit awkward. So yeah.
This team is pretty versatile though. Spectre is mostly like going to be a special attack with running some bulk, sometimes like the Subwillow set, sometimes Nassifot, sometimes Calm Mind. Swallow has physical or special offensive options. Cobalion is actually very versatile. It gets Calm Mind, Sword Stance, can be defensive. Garchomp.
But not to mention it can run the Sama at home with ID Prs.
Yeah. Then obviously you have Garchomp, which is a very versatile mod. Defensive, offensive, like special niche sets if you want to. Rotomo has a good chunk of versatility. Terapagos is mostly the same Pokemon. Like, it's gonna be set up or spin. Sometimes it can be like a Rocks lead set if you want to, but you don't really need it on this team like that. Samurott does its job well. Ceaseless Edge with priority, flip turn, sometimes AV, sometimes not. Cloth is there to get a funny sweep maybe. Swalot is there for the fairy weakness and the grounded poison. And Hatterene is also pretty versatile, I would say, in what sets it can run.
Oh yeah, baby. Overall, team is passable. It's still fine. Like
Yeah. This team, like I really like this
It
team.
is-
Obviously, if it had more momentum, it would be better. But a lot of good momentum ones, I think, were taken pretty early in Clodsire.
it could have been. It could have been well. It could have been better put together. But I think as it stands, it's still. As a team, it still functions. It still works. It's still. It'll get wins.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Be careful of fairy types, though.
Please do.
Yeah, at number 12, we have King Kryptonate, who took Emilio's burden.
He took my bird. I wonder how different my draft would have looked if I got Torn. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know. I guess you might have
we'll never
actually
know.
taken the low kicks, but anyway. Typings-wise, this team has every important typing it needs to have. Only typing it doesn't have is Ice, which is not an essential typing. Weaknesses-wise, pretty rock weak. Only rock resist being Zygarde, but it's a good Zygarde has a good rock resist, to be fair. Ice resistances, it's Heatran and Mega Gyarados, which Heatran is a great ice resist. Mega Gyarados can't unless Freeze Dry comes.
It's a little awkward because like his main ice and fairy resist is both Heatran.
Yeah.
Because it's not Venomoth. It's not gonna be Venomoth. Venomoth's not coming. Be real.
Yeah.
So
If it has, like, I mean, I feel like you kind of do anyway with this, with the Monheatron is, but there's a good chance you're bringing Shuka or Air Balloon every week.
Yeah. Terra Captains wise, we have Arboliva, Diancie, and Venomoth, which are free decent or good Terra Captain. Speed tiers are also pretty good. The only gap that's big being between 77 and 50, which is not too bad to have, and 110 to 95, which it's a gap that is like just on the cusp. Only 109 mons will be adamant or modest. There aren't a lot of 109 mons.
Is the only one Cortana?
Cartana. I know someone drafted Cartana and Quag. I don't know anywhere else.
I think that's the only 109. It is the only one I can.
You can think of, yeah.
There's a few more. It's Walking Wake, Infernape.
Oh yeah, Wake.
No, Infernape is
Wake.
108. So it's Walking
Wake,
Cartana,
Heliolisk,
Durant,
Ninetales.
Yeah.
So like none of them are that relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me, Durant is right there.
It did not get picked
Sorry,
up, so
Kevin.
don't talk about it. Since Roy is not here, we don't have to hear about the low tier Durant yapping right now.
I will take his goddamn place. Durant is the greatest.
Hazard
Also,
setting,
Roy said he'd be here
yeah,
2 minutes ago.
Yeah, he said he will be here soon. That has been a while ago. Anyways, hazard setting is a little weak. It's basically Heatran and Diancie because Venomoth is not coming that often, and if it comes, it probably doesn't want to run T-Spikes. Removal wise, you have 2 good defoggers, 1 Mold Breaker defogger, which can get through Golden Go, and Venomoth defog, I guess. You don't have a spin though, which considering a lot of your mods do like having rocks up on the like hazard up on the field, it's kind of a detriment.
I think I said this during the Ag PRs. I don't like it when Torn is regulated to fog duty.
Yes.
Just fog fodder.
Yeah, and it depends on like from draft to draft. On this team, I agree that it's not good when it's removed because it's kind of the main and almost the only like real special threat. I guess Heatran can be that as well, but like this team kind of was like plot torn a lot of weeks, like break specially. But if he also has run defog, then like you're kind of missing out special breaking.
Yeah. One thing to mention, they do have Magic Bounce, but it's not good Magic Bounce. It's Espeon Magic Bounce.
Espeon without Terra, right?
It's without Terra, yes.
Ouchie.
Yeah, so, that's not great.
While typings and speed tiers are good, hazard removal is definitely something to be worked on. Breaking power wise, as I've mentioned, the only thing that like threatens hard, especially, is Torn, because Heatran is kind of forced into a defensive role on this team. And Espeon, you're not bringing that off. Obviously, we have stuff like Arboliva, which can hit pretty hard with Terra, and a setup Venomoth with Tinted Lens. Physically, it's also physically is I think even worse than special, because it's
Why do you rank it 7 with Breaking Power?
Because of all of the setup options that are there.
I mean, I guess, but like even then, maybe I'm just like a hater on Zygarde, but I think like I just don't think it's that good and that good of a breaker. Like it has its weeks where like it can run like CB, 1,000 arrows, and like if it gets like multiple DDs, it can be a threat. But I just don't rate it that highly. And it's like arguably the like I know there's also Mega Gyarados, but like Zygarde is often like the biggest offensive threat on paper, and I it might just be personal preference, but I just don't think it's that.
I think it's personal preference because the only safe switches to the Zygardes are defensive grass types, basically. Because of how 1,000 arrows works. Of course, you have mons like Aloe, which can easily take a hit from Zygarde without an issue.
I mean, yeah, if you're like, I mean, it depends on the mon, but like physically, so just like generally physically bulky mons, if it has ways to stop setup, can take it on.
Yeah,
but it depends. It depends on the mon. Like, for example, like just like a Fisif Manibus can take it on. It's like ruin it for.
Yeah. But like generally speaking, there is no resisted switching except for grass defense. Grass types.
And bug. Don't forget bug.
Yeah, bug. But how many defensive bug types do exist that are good?
Araquanid.
Araquanid, baby.
Yeah. Then obviously you have Mega Gyarados on the physical side as well. But this team's breaking power mostly excels through all of the setup options that are there. You have Quiver Dance Venomoth, you have Dragon Dance Gyarados, you have Dragon Dance or Coil Zygarde, you have Swords Dance Hawlucha, which Hawlucha's terrain setupper being Arboliva, I'm gonna get into right now with support. Because
that is questionable, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hi, Roy.
Roy's finally here.
Hey, dude.
What's up, man?
Sorry, I'm very drunk, to be honest, so I will try and be minimal talking. I need to get in the door still as well.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
Arboliva does.
It is about right.
Arboliva does help this team with the terrain, yes. It's not a Rillaboom. It's not a Tapu Bulu.
It's not consistent.
Yeah. It does help Heatran, and the ground type on this team is not restricted by the grassy terrain. But I feel like there's better options. Momentum support is decent. You have your Wish Passer is Sylveon, which is pretty bad considering.
Espeon, I mean, I assume.
Yeah, Espeon. You don't have Diancie to. You have Diancie, which likes Wish. You have Heatran, which likes Wish. Considering this team is a little more bulky, you don't have a lot of natural recovery except for Torn.
Yeah. There's still Arboliva as well.
Yeah, Arboliva helps with that, definitely. But
I mean, also just Arboliva itself and Terrain,
yeah. Hazard support is bad. And now I want to get into part which I hate most about this team. This team has one knockoff mod.
It's Torn.
Yeah. Torn is on knockoff duty, on defog duty. It also needs to be a special threat. Torn is overloaded on this team.
Yeah. I don't think this team has room to run offensive Torn.
Yeah.
Like, it probably needs like the standard like Kane knock defog U-turn set every week. Like Torn does that well, and like on some teams, if you had like more offensive power to make up for like a bulky Torn, I would like it more. But on this team, it's unfortunately like gonna be locked into.
Exactly. You basically spend 19. You spend 19 points on a mon that will basically be U-turn, knockoff, defog, and coverage move.
Yeah, this team probably got rated too high. It happens. Yo, making PRs are hard, man.
Yeah. Problem solving wise, Torn has versatility, but it is restricted on this team specifically. Hawlucha is an offensive terrain sweeper. Espeon is a special attack. Zygarde has some versatility because it is actually very good defensively as well. Rotom is decently versatile. Venomoth, not so much. It's gonna be a Quiver Dance setup mon or just Sleep Powder spam. Gyarados, Mega Gyarados, especially mostly an attacker. Heatran has versatility in that it can be a special attacker, but also on this team a little restricted, considering it needs to fill a defensive role here mostly. Diancie also mostly defensive, but it has setup options. And Arboliva is going to be, with Terra especially, a special attacker or a defensive mod, depending on what you need it to do.
Yeah. Well, another thing I noticed, I mean, Discord, more to support than anything else. Although, well, you can argue like it also comes to problem solving just because this team also even more needs to. I just remembered, Gyarados, you won't have boots. So unless you like use Gyarados early, you're gonna take 75%, or you're gonna like forced into defog early.
Yeah.
Which is also unfortunate.
Yeah. This team definitely, like, a spinner would be good, maybe a little more hazard setting, and a wish passive would be amazing for this team. That is a wish passive that is not Espeon. Generally, this team has good synergy, since Arboliva helps this team a lot. But having Arboliva be the mon that helps the team the most is a little wonky.
Yeah.
A little wonky, freaky.
Yeah.
But we did what we did.
Yeah, that's our number 12 though, King Kryptonite. Taking us to number 11, Swaggery.
Imagine an American speaking better English than you. Bro, he's calling you out.
Okay, yeah, I will say this. I was drunk at the time. That's my excuse.
He's always drunk.
Are you? Yeah, I was supposed to say, are you always drunk?
No comment on that. The fact I'm drunk right now does not help with this argument.
It definitely does not. Let's get into the essential roles. Typings-wise, you're not missing any important typings. The only typings you don't have are Bug and Psychic. You don't have any too big weaknesses. You have enough resistances for most typings. Speed tier-wise, you're also looking pretty fine. There's a big gap between 80 and 55, which can be exploited a little bit, but it's not as bad as having a high tier gap, I think, personally.
Yep. If you could fill it up, it'd be nice, but
yeah.
The number of mons that could take advantage of that are way less than if you had a different speed gap.
Exactly. For Terra Captains, we have Miltank and Okidogi, which I think Okidogi...
Miltank?
Okidogi's a great Terra Cap. Miltank is a little weird, definitely. Would have preferred putting Terra on the road to Mo and Okidogi, but they made their choice with Miltank.
Miltank was free, basically. Miltank was free.
The Terra Moltres?
I think the Terra Miltank's fine because like it has great bulk, but like to normal it's like a pretty bad defensive
typing, yeah.
Terra type.
I will say this as well. Miltank didn't cost him any extra points to do.
Ah, okay.
Really?
Yeah, Miltank
that's free,
is 8
then.
points and is 8 Terra because it doesn't get Terra Blast and it doesn't abuse Terra too much.
I kind of like it now. Never mind. I mean, well, it's alright.
Hazards are pretty bad. You have Donphan and Miltank for rock, and then only spikes with
Hisui and Growlithe.
Hisui and Growlithe
You skipped
has
the
rocks,
Growlithe.
yes, but it's not coming. Unless you have a meme week. Removal-wise, you have 2 good defoggers and 1 good rapid spinner, which I think is enough. Removal-wise, you're set pretty good. Hazard setting-wise, it definitely needs improvements, though.
Yeah, especially with the Golden Go, like
yeah,
having a spiker, a better spiker than just base Pokemon would be nice.
Yeah,
I think it could have been worse hazard-wise, but it like you really would have liked taking more advantage of the goal.
Yeah. I will get into the Golden Go when I get to support. For Breaking Power right now, physically we have Okidogi, Donphan, Roaring Moon, and Ogerpon. Especially we have Golden Go, Rotom Frost, and Moltres, which is a pretty decent lineup. Maybe another good special attacker that is not doesn't have a defensive role in your team would be nice. But I think generally it's fine. Now to support, where I want to mention the Golden Go. Having a Golden Go is pretty good, pretty nice to have, obviously. But if you get a Golden Go, you want to pair it with lots of hazards because it denies any type of removal very easily. So this is where support did get a lot of minus points just because the hazard support in combination with having Golden Go is not that good. You also don't have a Wish Passer, which is not necessary since Miltank and Moltres have reliable recovery, but Tapu Fini and Donphan do appreciate Wish support.
Yeah.
You have
Really
lots
cool.
of
Another thing I also noticed here, especially if the Okidogi if the Okidogi is going to be you really want an item, this team doesn't really have a good knock switching.
Yes.
And it has a Gongo and a Moltres that hate knock, and Fiend as well because of it loves having leftovers. I guess Miltank's fine, but Miltank's not coming to every game.
Yeah. That is definitely
Honestly,
a problem.
It's a niche. It's a niche Terramon. Like it had grass fake fat is fucking fun, but it definitely is it's a niche one. It's not going to come to every game.
Yeah. So yeah, this team does have a lot of knock and taunt users and a lot of good ones as well. Momentum is a little weak on this team, honestly. But it's fine for how this team plays because it's a more bulky offensive team than a straight up hyper HO team. Problem solving wise, this team also has some issues. Roaring Moon is a physical attacker through and through. Ogerpon has some niche variety leech seed. Hornleaf sets up spikes. Miltank is mostly going to be defensive, especially with the Terra. Moltres, mostly defensive, but can run offensive. Rotom Frost, defensive, offensive, what you want it to do. Tapu Fini is mostly defensive, but has niche setup sets. Golden Go is offensive mom, but has good options with
support moves.
Yes, good support moves, good defensive typing and stats. Okidogi with Terra is very versatile in the sense it can be very defensive if you wanted to and be annoying. But I'm gonna mention one thing here. The minus is Toxic Chain plus having Misty Terrain.
Huh. Oopsie.
Yeah.
You're very, very running guard dog.
Yeah, mostly you're running guard dog, especially into intimidate teams. But if a team doesn't have an intimidate user, you will run Toxic Chain. So
I'd argue you're not really running it at all, to be honest. Guard dog is very niche.
I mean, it's only against Lando or whatever.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna be honest. This might not be very Clod Division player of me. I have no idea what the fuck guard dog does.
Guard
dog. It gives you a +1 attack boost, and it also means you can't be switched out if you are intimidated.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool, I guess.
I mean, I don't think it's that bad because I think Okidogi appreciates the terrain more than it hurts it because of.
Yes. But in
the
moments where you would like a Toxic Chain proc, it might not happen just because you have the Misty Terrain. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Generally, this is a lot better than the team I saw Spiker redraft last season. I like it a lot more. But it definitely has a few issues.
For context, Swaggery made main actually promotion with the team that been hated.
Yeah.
What did they get second place or did they got top?
They made second place in regular season and then went out in semis.
I see.
Like
I
Ben.
see.
What the fuck just happened? Okay.
Yo,
spoiler,
Ben.
because apparently 2 slides just got skipped by me clicking once. Anyways, number 10 is Fury, who is also a promotion.
Claude fell off so hard that even John
Quack.
got in. Fury was the second place winner.
Yes.
For Quag. Yeah.
Star Maiden.
Well, maybe Swag.
And Fury got second.
Star Maiden won.
Oh, the Swaggery just got promoted anyway.
Yeah. Let's get into it. Typings wise, you have every necessary typing, except maybe fire, because you are kind of fairy. You have an Iron Crown and Petrun, which will take fairy moves well, though. But you have 4 fairy weak mons. So maybe a fire type would be nice, but it's not too necessary to have for you specifically.
I think.
Speed tier's
I
fine.
think they're
you have a big gap between
The team is too
106
fucking
and
fast. I'm
223.
sorry.
And you
Team
don't
is
have
too fucking fast.
This team is weak to Trick Room. Majorly weak to Trick Room.
Like an 8 team.
You don't have any mom that like T-Tar is your best Trick Room answer in that it is will be your fastest mon in Trick Room, but it will not outspeed any Trick Room threats in Trick Room. So
Even Stout, actually no, fucking hell. Oh wait, Stoutland's actually faster than fucking Tito. I forgot about that. Fucking hell.
Stoutland's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I didn't realize it was 8 base fat speed.
Terra captains are T-Tar and Stoutland, which I personally do not like Terra T-Tar unless you're running Dragon Dance specifically.
Yeah, I don't know either because, like, obviously, like with those stats, changing to a different type, like change to just Ghost or like a good like neutral like Terra Water or Ground or whatever, unless you potentially get up 2 TDs, will be very threatening. But at the same time, it means you're chipping yourself, or if you're not bringing sand, that means your Chomp and I guess technically your Stoutland will be a lot worse.
Yeah.
To be fair, if you're not bringing Sand, you're not bringing Stoutland.
Very. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But like, if you want to
Unless you
bring,
face, like-
I guess if you bring Stoutland, you're probably not tearing T-Tar either.
Yeah. Hazard setting is pretty decent. Mega Chomp has to his hazard. T-Tar has multiple hazards as well. That is just not on my dog because T-Tar gets spikes now, I think.
No way.
Yeah. Now also has spikes and T-spikes. Removal is weak.
I'll double check now.
You have one.
Actually, yeah, check that.
You have one
You get
defogger,
spiked.
which is Rotomo, which is a good defogger to have, and one spinner in Quaquaval, which is a okay spinner to have. Good if you're Emilio.
Great.
Yeah, I
stuff.
think.
It will sometimes just not fit Rapid Spin.
Yeah, like I agree that like it's considering this is Nadex. If when Quackle is your best removal, I think that's bad. Like it's a
Anyway,
it's a pretty
Removal is not
good like removal set, but that means like you're not running the offensive sets that Quack usually wants to run. Like if
by
you
the
had like
way,
a better default.
I'd like to point out T-Tar does not have spikes.
Oh, okay, I
Okay, I was
just
about to
confused
say,
it with
I was
Iron
pretty-
Thorns.
Oh yeah. But
Don't get me
yeah,
wrong, I still think Quack is I think underrated as removal. Like I still think the removal on this team is still bad. That doesn't mean like I don't know. I still find it underwhelming. It could be better.
Yeah.
The removal on this
I
team.
get
like,
what you
is-
mean.
Let's get into the offense stuff, which is by far the best part about this team. Physically, you have Meow, Enam, Mega Chomp, Quaquaval, Stoutland, and T-Tar. Especially, you have Enam again. You have Iron Crown. You have Mega Chomp. You have Rotom Fan. You have niche set up Patreon sets. You have niche choice specs Meowscarada sets and niche T-Tar sets that can run special. Generally, this team is gonna blow shit up.
Definitely stronger physically, but especially it's passable. It's good.
Especially, which will be my gateway into support, especially under Sand. Garchomp, Stoutland will be very threatening.
I mean, yeah, they got the Sand to support it all the way.
Yeah.
That Sand Force, that Sand Rush. It's just really nice for them.
You
They
also
only have 2 knockoffers, but they're pretty good knockoffers.
Yeah, you have good taunters as well.
Yeah, good taunters.
You have decent amount of momentum. You have 5 momentum mounts, considering you only have 9 mounts. It's good enough momentum to have.
I also think Parting Shot's just like a really nice like niche, like throwing like whenever you have it, it's just like that's just really cool to have.
Yeah.
So I always think Parting Shot's like a nice little bonus.
Yeah, and since this team is more offensively minded again, which isn't necessary, and your main defensive Pokemon Petron has recovery, so it's fine. Generally thinking, I think the support is pretty good. Of course, it could be a little better. Like having a cleric would be pretty nice here, especially like since a lot of mods on this team hate burn. Like Willow Spread on this team is very viable.
Yeah. Maybe some better screen support. Like Rotom can do it, but
It's not
at an
the
offensive team sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not the best.
It's not the
The
best, especially the
Teams
fan
sometimes
version.
just want Yeah, the fan version of all. So it's like on an offensive team, sometimes you just want those screens just set up and just win the fucking game.
Yeah.
And you have the option, but it's on Rotom Fan.
Yeah. Problem solving wise, Meow is versatile. Enam is versatile offensively. Iron Crown can run offensive or defensive. Mega Chomp is very versatile. Petron not so much. Rotom Fan not so much. Quack also not so much. Stoutland also not so much. And T-Tar again is versatile. So you have like 4 of your mons are not that versatile, and the rest is decently or very versatile. So it's a pretty good number to have.
I think Rotom Fan's pretty like versatile and like.
Yeah, I like Rotom Fan a lot.
All the Rotoms are just very versatile when it comes to just their moveset. Willow, Thunderwave, fucking pivot, screens.
I will say this, like Rotom Frost, like going back to the previous slides, that needs Terra to be pretty versatile. Rotom Fan can actually do a decent amount in the right matchups. I've used it, and it is actually surprisingly versatile, even if it has no ability.
Yeah, but you've used a lot
You
of
mean it has
weak
level-
mons,
But
Roy,
it has
so.
limited-
I mean,
it has
I can agree that, like, out of
Let me try
all,
my
like,
head,
the cheap mons, Rotom Fan is one of the most, like, bringable. That's not terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
It's really good, like budget, like pick if you needed backup Terra.
Yeah. Also, considering there is not a lot of other weather on in Clod, the sand mode is probably not going down.
I will say, I do find it fascinating that two Clodsire teams have brought sand modes. It's quite fun.
no rain drafted, no sun drafted, but maybe.
Yeah. Here's the spoiler again from before. I'm sorry. We have Order next up at number 9.
Order up.
Order up. Yeah. So for Order, essential typings wise, you don't have a normal type. You have one dark type, which is Overquill, yes, which will take ghost hits pretty well, but it doesn't have recovery, and I will get into that later in support. But it won't infinitely take ghost type moves.
Yeah, it's kind of not great when it's your only one. Like, if...
Physically, it can take ghost types move amazingly. Especially, it's a little it's gonna take a lot more damage though.
Yeah, this team is very weak to Shadow Ball spam.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's Spectre or like Specs Fault.
Yeah.
It seems like very tough for this team to handle.
Yeah. The team is also has 3 rock Pokemon, weak Pokemon, but you have
20,
enough
25.
resistances. It looks very ground weak, but it has good resistances and immunities. And same with ice. It looks more ice weak than it is actually. So the only big weakness to mention is the ghost type one. Speed wise, you have no 2 big gaps. The biggest gap being between 100 and 85, which means 99 mons will run Modest and Adam. How many 99 mons are there that are very threatening?
I feel like there's one I could think of, but it's like on the tip of my tongue, but I can't
Haxorus?
find it.
No, Haxorus on here.
Oh, actually 98.
Well,
I trained
know
at
there was-
97, so what's above that? Like, Thunderous might be it.
Squirguy's small. It has a lippity that we allow.
Okay, neither of those are threats offensively,
Yeah,
so okay, so
the other ones are Xerneas, Yveltal, and Genesect, which are not allowed in our format. So.
But yeah, I knew there was good ones there.
I was about to say, okay.
I will say just another point to that the ice weakness doesn't really matter that much. Both of the ice weaks being Enam and Sinister are both Terra.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, I just want to say, is that the best Terra combination in the league?
Probably, honestly.
Like,
Sinister plus Enam T sounds amazing.
I'm
not
an
a fan
Enam
of
hater.
Enam
I'm an
personally.
Enam T hater, but Sinister's a fucking amazing one.
I
Enam
also
T probably
don't.
is the right person.
I mean, normally I
Mhm.
don't like Enam T either, but especially with Terra, it's like it is very solid. Also, Sinister was definitely one we forgot to price up because it should not be 11 points with Terra, especially when like Enam T is 14 with Terra. Like I think
I agree with that.
those could be swapped and it would still make sense. Terra.
I kind of agree, as weird as that sounds. Sinister is definitely underpriced. It's fucking great with Terra.
Yeah.
Good take
The
it.
weakest
This
point...
is definitely not at all has anything to do with my history against Terra Sinistra.
Yeah, definitely
Oh,
not.
also, I'd like to point out as well, like, I haven't mentioned this at any point so far. Any tiebreakers from them I did maps-wise, I did it based on, like, what teams outscored the other teams in, like, most categories. And then the tiebreak was problem-solving. So that's why some teams that are tied are, like, tie-breaks.
Yeah. This team's biggest weakness is hazard setting and removal. Best spread is not coming to every game, so your rocks are forced on Tusk, and Overquill is not coming to every game, so basically your only hazards will be the Treads. Treads is also the main removal mon because the only other removal mon is Defog Surfetched.
And I don't think
Oh,
you
yeah.
ever run Defog on Surf Edge, if I'm being real with you.
I mean,
To be fair,
it could be better for sure. But I think if you want removal limited to one mon, like Treads is the second best after Tusk. So obviously it would be nice to have like at least a second option. But if there's only like one mon where you want spin, it's gonna be Treads, and that's fine, I think.
Yeah.
And similar note, like I might just be like rating it a bit highly myself. I really like Misprint, and also just like a good secondary hazard setter, but. I guess it is not coming to every game here, but so I don't think it has big of an issue.
Yeah. Offense-wise, you have Surfetched, Enam, Mesprit, Overquill, Palafin, Cinderace, and Treads, which is a lot of threats to be careful of. Especially you have Palafin again, because special sets are very viable on it. You have the Raging Bull, you have Mesprit, you have Sinistra, and you have Enam T. This team is offensively very amazing. And it's a very bulky offense as well, so you will not be breaking it easily, and it will hit back very hard. Which gets me into support. Support is probably the weakest part about this team. Stats-wise for us, it's at least hazard support obviously is not as good as it could be. You have options, but the backup options are not coming at that often, considering how strong your top core is.
I mean, hazard support isn't peak, but like he also has core change, so it's like
yeah. You also have a decent amount of momentum, which is good. You have Trick Room options with like a minus speed Surfetch and Enam. You have some good knock users, some good taunters. Wish would definitely be cool because the only recovery mon is Sinistra. And
I guess
Enam doesn't get recovery.
Yeah, I mean Enam would like that wish.
Yeah. Enam would like
it.
Wall Rain in the niche situation where you bring it. Mesprit likes it. Overquill likes it. Treads likes it.
That's for
it's not. Oh god, the mon sucks. Anyways.
No, I mean it's just a big button, and that it's a good like attacker, and that's all it does.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't do anything else.
Fair enough.
Or unless Order wants to bring Defog Surfetched, and trust me, bring that this week. Trust. Bulky Defog Surfetched.
Yeah.
For reference, I play Order this week.
There's also no cleric on this team, so status spam can be nice into this team. Especially, I feel like Willow spam will be pretty great into this team, considering how many physical attackers are on this team as well. And Toxic spam, considering Overquill is not coming every game, so this team can definitely be run down by status, since there's nothing to get rid of it. Problem solving wise,
these weaknesses. I said these weaknesses are bigger in Clog because you have better players, like naturally. So they're. I say any weaknesses are much easier to take advantage of.
Yeah. Problem solving wise, Cinderace has some sets, some different sets that can run. Treads is obviously very versatile. Palafin is amazingly versatile. Overquill mostly will do the same things for you. Mesprit is very versatile. Raging Bolt has some versatility. Not in the move pool necessarily, in the stat spread, so you can run on it. Sinistra has some versatility. Walrein is going to be mainly... It's there as a niche option for like a bundle answer or something if you wanted. Surfetch mostly does the same things, and Enam mostly will be an offensive Pokemon, but with Terra it can fill a defensive role if needed be.
Yeah.
This team is definitely pretty very good, I feel like. It has answers to Trick Room, it has like everything it needs basically. Like the only gripe is Treads maybe having a little bit of overload on rolls, but outside of that, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I
Very
think
good team.
definitely helped by the 2 great Terra caps, and also like both really want Terra, but neither needs Terra.
Yeah.
So you can bring both to a game and like pick and choose what Terra you want throughout the game, which can also be an issue. Like both are serviceable ones without. It's not like like for example, Jolteon needs Terra to function. So if you bring Jolteon and you're not Terraing it, you're just bringing a wasted slot almost. But with this, you can still get value out of them on if you bring both.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but that
Well,
is
I'd probably like to point out that I'd like to point out we're probably getting around the time where like every team is pretty good, or the teams are definitely getting a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, I've generally thought like most, like even the worst team have been like pretty solid. I just think, like
yeah,
I don't.
I mean,
yeah.
Claude just did very well. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Honestly, like even like when I came in, Swaggery's team was pretty decent. I don't think there was any absolutely dog shit team in Clodsire unless I missed something.
No, there was no dog shit team in Clodsire.
I disagree. I think Arrow's team's pretty bad, but that's me.
Yeah.
I refused to slag off Arrow because then I told him last season that he was locked for playoffs, and then he missed out playoffs.
Anyway, let's get to number 8, which is Nut. Typings wise, you don't have a ghost type, but you have enough resistances to fighting a normal, so where it is not an issue. You don't have a grass type, you have enough resistances and immunities to ground, where it is fine. So typings wise are set. Speed tiers are pretty good actually. No too big gaps that are very exploitable. But one thing I want to mention, Excadrill will be faster if it is in Sand, so then you will have a 20-point gap between Rotom Wash and Monkey Dory.
I mean, people still often creep for like a drill not in sand. Because, like, especially on this team with a Mega T-Taru, that means sand won't actually be there for that long. So, like, there's a pretty good chance the drill will use its base speed a lot more than in, like, if this team was paired with a Gigalith or a Powder or regular Tar.
Yeah. I feel like regular Tar would be a lot better on this team, considering you have 2 sand abusers on this team. But,
to be fair, someone did take it.
Yeah, Mega T-Tar does seem serviceable.
I mean, yeah, I definitely agree. Like,
maybe a powder on the season might improve it.
Even Gigalith, like I think like I know Tar is a better mon, but Gigalith is actually the Sandsetter I enjoy the most.
Same.
Because it doesn't have the 4 times weakness, and it also it's usually a lot cheaper than like Tar and Hippo is.
I really like Hippo for this team actually.
Yeah,
Hippo team would work good.
I think Hippo would be a little better.
They would need a dark type instead of like Probopath, for example, but like
I think that's a simple fix.
I mean, at this point, I think Megatar is fine. I think it's too late to change.
Yeah, obviously, but like, I'm just saying it'd be cool. I think T-Tar still works fine. T-Tar still works perfectly fine, but I think Hippo on this team would be fire though.
Yeah.
Getting to removal, hazard setting is decent. You have 3 Rockers, 1 Spiker, and you have 1 good Spinner and 2 good Defoggers. So I think you're set on that front. Obviously, a little more, 1 more Spiker or a T-Spiker would be nice to have. Generally speaking, it's pretty fine though. Breaking the team is great. Physically, you have Valiant, you have Excadrill, you have Dracozold, you have Mega T-Tar, you have Gallisopod. Especially, you have Iron Valiant again, you have Monkey Dory, you have Rotom Wash, and you have Farigiraf. This team also, while being a relatively fast team, especially in Sand, it has a Trick Room move with Farigiraf, Gallisopod, and Probopass.
I don't know if Trope as a Trick Room is a thing.
I guess on paper.
Golisopod is definitely the threatening Mon in Trick Room. But, yeah.
Mm.
What's the Terras on this team? Regazol and...
Dracozolt, Furry Giraffe, and Propass.
Yeah.
So most weeks probably Dracozolt, but if it's a week where Dracozolt's bad, Furry Giraffe is not a bad like backup Terra option to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Support-wise, obviously Mega T-Tar supports the team with Sand. Hazard support is decent. Momentum, you have a good amount for your team, considering it's a Sand team. Sand most of the time will not have that much momentum. You only have 2 knockoffers, which they're both good knockoffers. Mega T-Tar also gets knocked. I don't know why Mega T-Tar isn't on there, but regular T-Tar was, so Doc, I guess, didn't want to. And a lot of good talkers.
But T-Tar gets knocked. Yeah, but T-Tar gets knocked, so
yeah,
that's something.
I
think it's important to know or it's important that T-Tar has knocked just because Golisopod's not like a super prevalent mon you bring every week, and then Iron Valiant will have a hard time slotting in knock. So I think T-Tar, being a Sand team, will be there to click knock.
Yeah, that helps a lot. For sure.
It's also easier to get T-Tar down, gets knock off. Only got in Gen 9 as well.
Yeah. You also have a Wish Passer for this team, which this team definitely appreciates, considering a lot of mons don't get recovery. And Farigiraf is actually a very good Wish Passer.
Yeah, very slept on, I think.
Yeah, because it has 120 HP. I think. So that helps with T-Tar.
120 HP, 100%, really good.
Yeah.
Ever since my San Antonio trip, my opinion on Farigiraf has just gone up so much. I brought it to San Antonio. I loved it. Yeah, I love the mon.
It's honestly a goated mon in doubles, but in singles it's probably underused, especially in draft.
By the way, we're at half point right now, and we've been recording for 1.5 hours.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah, guys,
we did
should-
a lot in the beginning.
Emilio brains me for yapping. I haven't even been here half the fucking time, and I've been pretty quiet today.
We've all been yapping a little bit, so I think. Sorry for the coaches that are coming up. We're gonna pick up the pace here a little bit, probably now.
Yeah, I might be going to the pub again, so.
So, problem solving.
I wish I
You're
was
really not dodging the alcoholic allegations.
Oh, you're really
Listen,
not.
if your cute blonde friend invites you to the pub, would you say no?
He literally has the alcoholic role on the server.
Yeah, I don't care about allegations. And also, if a cute blonde friend is inviting you to the pub who has tattoos and is hot, would you say no?
Probably not. Fair enough.
I would, because I have a girlfriend, but that's a different thing.
Yeah, you have a girlfriend. It's different for you. I'm single.
Anyways,
Amelia wouldn't say no.
Roy, go. You just go, man. Go you.
Oh no, I'm waiting for the text. So if they actually go into the pub or not.
No, I meant let's go you. I was cheering you on.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, bro. You're the best.
No
I love
problem,
you.
fam. Love you too, Roy.
Love you, man. Love you guys all as well.
Anyway, let's pick up the
man.
pace
Right,
here.
we need to carry on. We need to carry on.
Yeah.
We need to actually do this. Carry on.
Problem solving.
Roy said okay, fuck it. I just go.
Talonflame. Talonflame is very versatile and can run special, physical, and support set. Valiant, obviously, very versatile mon offensively. Monkey Dory, not so much. Excadrill has a little bit of versatility. Rotom Bosch, versatile. Dracozolt, not so much. Mega T-Tar, yes, is versatile. Defensive, offensive, even special sets work on it. Although not as good as on regular T-Tar. Farigiraf will do mostly what it does, be defensive, pass ways, set up a trick room. Golisopod, priority, first impression, strong boy. Probopass will trap steals. That's basically what it will do.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Number 8, Nut. Number 7, Embiid, the Savior.
I love MB teams. They're always super. The MB, by the way, always tries to make sure they draft mons they've only ever used once at most.
Yeah.
Quirked white boy, bro.
Quirked up white boy.
Quirked up unwiped white boy.
Let's get into it. Essential roles are the worst part about this team. You're missing a grounded poison, which is pretty bad considering your team doesn't like poison. You don't have a fire type, which on this team is pretty bad because you only have one resist to fairy, which is Jirachi. While a good resist, it won't infinitely take moves.
Actually, just holds his team together like it's
I
the soul
actually
flop resist.
Jirachi is the
Very
glue to
fair.
this team, yes.
I'd argue the fire resist is much worse because your sole fire resist is Inteleon.
Oh yeah,
That's a problem.
I wasn't,
Yeah.
I wasn't done with the weaknesses yet. You have one flying resist, which is also Jirachi. You're
Oh god.
you're pretty fighting weak, considering 3 months are weak to fighting. Obviously, you have Great Tusk, which take fighting moves well, and then one resist and one immunity. You're very ice weak, which also Jirachi's job, and Inteleon again, which is a Frailmon. Terra Captains are by the way Sylveon and Inteleon. So Sylveon might.
Oh, so they'll be carrying out of those resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're also very steel
Well,
weak, which is also again
I will say this.
Inteleon and Jirachi's job. To take steel
I will
type
say
moves.
this. I will say this. Inteleon is not tearing out of its typing. If you're using Terra Inteleon, a lot of
Terra
time you're
Water.
using Terra Water, like just to nuke stuff. But that's
Yeah,
still not a defensive answer.
It likes Terra.
I mean, and
Fire.
also, like, I feel like it also just like Terra Electric and Grass to be waters, but still, yeah, it's an Inteleon. It's a nothing resist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, Jirachi is the glue defensively to this team because it is the only thing holding it together.
Yeah. To some extent, Sylveon, but not as much.
Sylveon will definitely help because it's Terra, and
It
defensive
can
Terra
take-
will help.
And Sylveon can also take like special hits neutrally. Like
Right.
it can take like a Fire Blast and an Ice Beam.
Yeah.
Fine.
I will say this: Great Tusk is probably going to be more defensive than you would like it, but thankfully they do have Wish twice.
Double wish, yeah. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Speed tiers wise, you're set pretty good, but you don't have any real trick room answers, so except Sylveon with like minus speed nature, so that might be a little dangerous. Considering you also don't have a lot of priority, you have Honchkrow, Decidueye, and I think that's it priority wise.
Inteleon gets Aqua Jet, but that's really pushing it.
Yeah, and Sylveon gets quick attack, which
Oh,
is pushing.
Terra Fairy Quick Attack.
Oh,
Or,
and
I mean,
Ogre
not Terra Fairy, I mean, Fairy Quick Attack from Sylveon.
Yeah.
Ogerpon gets Quick Attack as well, to be fair.
Oh,
True.
fuck you.
I've run it. Like,
Hazard
you
setting?
say this, I've actually run it.
Hazard setting, you have one Spiker in Ogerpon Rock, and you have 2 Rockers in Great Tusk and Jirachi, which, if you want to run offensive Great Tusk, Jirachi has another job to do.
Yes, sir. Hazard duty, baby.
Yeah. Removal wise, you have a good, great the best Rapid Spinner probably in Great Tusk. And then you have one decent Defogger and one bad Defogger, the decent one being Decidueye and the bad one being Honchkrow. So,
Decidueye's
yeah, that's
alright. It's okay, but like Honchkrow's pretty bad, yeah.
yeah, the hazards being as bad as they are, and the whole weakness chart with Jirachi being the only thing holding this team together from a massive downfall is why the essential roles are 4. Breaking now though. Physically, you have Ogerpon Cornerstone, you have Jirachi if you can ever run it offensively. Then you have Kyurem, Great Tusk, Honchkrow, and Decidueye. Especially you have Inteleon, Jirachi again, Kyurem again, Porygon Z, Honchkrow, and Decidueye again, and Sylveon. This team breaks very, very well, although Jirachi is forced into the defensive role probably a lot.
Jirachi is forced into the defensive role, but like on paper, like all the mons low-key kind of fuck, so I do like the breaking power here. Who are the Terra Captains? Inteleon? Inteleon and Sylveon. Yeah.
And in some weeks, you can also use like Specs, Terra Fairy, Hyper Voice,
Yeah,
and that
exactly.
can break as well.
That hurts, man. Yeah. So
So
the team breaks
like
for sure.
Support-wise, as we mentioned, two Wish Passers, you have Heal Bell, which is all very good to have. You have good knockoffers, good taunters, lots of momentum.
Good
Actually,
momentum,
a lot of
yeah.
momentum on this team. And then you also have bad hazard support, though. So if the hazards were a little better support, we go up. But yeah. And now to the problem solving, where Jirachi is the whole ass glue around this team. And while Jirachi normally is very, very versatile, this Jirachi will not be. This Jirachi will hold this team together by two threads, like Spider-Man in that one movie.
The movie holding the fucking train.
Yeah, that's basically Jirachi on this team.
Yeah.
Oh,
Otherwise,
we gotta make that. We gotta make that meme. We should have made that for this slide. That would have been
Yeah.
funny.
would be
otherwise,
great.
like Inteleon can run special or physical offense because it gets sword stance, so physical can be the option, but it's mostly going to be special. Ogre Punk Corner has some support sets, yes, but it's mostly going to be like offensive. Kirim can run both offenses very amazingly. Porygonzi mostly special attack. Great Tusk defensive or offensive, but a good variety of sets there. Honchkrow is going to be an offensive mon through and through, special or physical, whatever you want if you bring it. The Decidueye has defensive sets and offensive sets, whatever you need to. Same with Sylveon. Problem solving is pretty good on this team. While the number might be a little misleading because, again, Jirachi is the whole glue to this team, which will keep it from breaking.
Yeah, shout out Rachi, bro.
Shout out to Rachi.
Rachi is really doing work. Rachi's doing a lot of work in this team.
Yeah.
I love Vileplume.
Honestly, I will say this. Stack used Vileplume recently in a Paldea deck, and it came to every game and was one of his best mons. So it can do work.
It can.
I only said Vileplume message.
And here we have Royal Lover number 1, Martin.
I love you, Martin. You're so sexy.
Smash. Next question.
Smash, next
Yeah,
question.
exactly.
Our favorite one. Next to Juby, but Juby's not playing this season. So.
I mean, we
Anyways.
don't smash. I mean, I would. Short Kings deserve respect to Emilio.
Typings. You have every important typing except Dark. You have 2 good Psychic resists, but Psychic types will spam their attacks into you.
And also, Kamala is not a real ghost resist.
Yes.
No.
Your only ghost
It's
a
resist
real
is
mon,
Kamala,
no.
yeah.
A real mon.
Yeah, Kamala's a backup pick, not like a first choice pick.
Yeah. Then we have another huge problem, which is the huge speed gap between Screamtail and Rillaboom.
It's not that bad. It's pretty bad.
It's very bad.
Basically, any mon from 99 to 110 can run Modest or Adamant. And there's a lot of threatening mons in that speed range.
Yeah. That's not ideal.
While you obviously have priority with Rillaboom and some other stuff like Sucker Punch Dragapult, these mons will be able to run bulk as well, so that's a problem for you. Hazard setting is very good, actually. You have 3 good rockers, a Spiker, and a Niche T-Spiker. Terra Captains are, by the way, Raikou and Colossal, which Colossal actually becomes a real mon with Terra, and Raikou loves having Terra.
Yeah, also those are quite good captains. That might be up there with the Sinister and Ambrose T combo.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it as highly, but it's definitely pretty good as well. Mainly just because, like, Colossal is barely a real mon without Terra.
Yeah.
But it's a very good mon. It's a very solid mon with Terra, though. So it's like not as bad.
Yeah. Then you have the best defogger in the game in Corviknight. You don't have a backup defogger, but you have 3 spinners. 1 being a very good spinner, and 2 being like niche backup spinners if you need them to be. So in general, this team.
I think the removal's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Removal is fine. Hazard setting is fine. The speed gaps are obviously
If
annoying. Not having a dark type is pretty bad on this team.
Yeah. Honestly, if I was to tweak this team, I'd actually drop Quaxel for like a 1 point Sticky Webber. I think that helps the team more.
I guess so, yeah.
So I don't really see where Quaxel comes that Kamala doesn't. You just bring Kamala over it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Quaxwell can knock. Oh, I guess so can. Come on. Ah, man, whatever.
Yeah, Kamala can too. Yeah, and I guess that's what I mean. Like, honestly, if Kamala didn't have knock, I get it. Then that just actually makes more sense. You might have a point, but just bring Kamala. Kamala does what Quaxel does.
Yeah. Breaking power wise now. It's pretty bad. It's very fucking bad, especially.
Yeah.
It's It's only Raikou and Pult. Pult being obviously great, and Terra Raikou being also very good, but you don't have any other options. These are like the only two options you have.
It's not amazing, but I definitely feel like we've seen worse.
I've seen worse, but I will say this: when your third best option is Terra Colossal, it's a bit of a problem.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. Then we have for physical attackers, we have a lot of options actually. You have Dragapult, Sneasler, Rillaboom. Komala can be physically threatening. Swampert with Choice Band can be very annoying. Then you have stuff like set up Corviknight if you want to. So physically it's very good, especially definitely needs a little bit of help. But I think it's passable on this team with how it was created. Which brings me into support, which is the best part about this team, because you have, in my opinion, the best support mon in the game, which is Screamtail. Because it just does everything and anything support-wise.
Dragapult, great support mon as well.
Yeah, Dragapult can
Just
support pretty well.
Tiers.
You have Grassy Terrain from Rillaboom,
Willow,
which can help in the support sense, helping Colossal and Raikou with weaknesses, enabling Sneasler more. Then Momentum support and Hazard support is very amazing. The only gripe is not having a Cleric, which I guess you could drop Quaxel for a like 1-point Cleric if you wanted to, but like it's not necessary particularly on this team, I think.
I would have bumped it up to a 9 low key, but it's good.
Yeah. And then we have problem solving, which obviously have pulled one of the most versatile mons in the game, doing anything and everything you needed to do. Sneasler is mostly physically offensive. Raikou, mostly special offensive, but has some niche defensive sets, especially special defensive. It's pretty good. Screamtail's defensive support, but has setup options if you want to have it. Rillaboom, mostly offensive with Grassy Light and stuff, but has annoying sets with like Subseed. Then Corviknight, mostly defensive again, but has setup options. Komala has funny last respects or wish rapids when U-turn support. Quaxwell is just backup spinner. Swampert, also mostly defensive, has some niche sets that you can run. And Colossal again, mostly defensive, hazards and spin. But yeah.
Wait, did you say last respects?
Last resort.
Oh, I thought you said last respect. I'm like, wait, am I looking at this wrong? First of all, the move's banned. Second of all, I don't see a mon that learns it.
No, because Kamala has that niche set with Sleep Talk Last Resort, because when it clicks Sleep Talk, it's technically asleep. It can just instantly click Last Resort.
Which does damage.
Yeah, definitely does.
Unless you have a ghost type, then it does no damage, but otherwise, yeah, it does damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, this team is really good.
Yeah.
Love it.
The
it's
biggest
solid.
gripe is the speed gap here, because I find it this is like one of the worst speed gaps to have, in my opinion. So if that gets fixed, I think this team gets a lot higher.
Honestly, if you fix the breaking power too as well.
Yeah, get a special attacker
Breaking power
in that range somewhere, and then you're fine. Like a 100-point special attacker somewhere, and you're set.
But still really like the team.
Yeah,
really good team.
The team is
yeah,
great.
the team's so solid.
Brings us to
top 5, baby.
Number 5. Thank you, Spike, for drafting such an amazing team.
Thank you. Oh my god, wait, hold on. Can we do this like right now? Hold on. We need to do this all over again. I'm adding Spike. Thank you, Spike. Thank you, man. Hold on.
While Emilio
everyone go say thank you, Spike, right now.
Okay.
Patiently waiting. This is important.
I don't know why we're doing it, but sure.
We're just doing it. Anyways.
Yeah, of course.
Let's get into it. Essential roles. Spike has every important typing except Ghost. They have enough fighting resists, but only one normal resist. So normal spam could be a little annoying, but Tink can take a hit pretty well from normal type. So can Slowbro most of the time. And you then also have the Intim Land OT. speed tiers wise, everything looks pretty. Like speed tiers wise, it looks pretty great. There's the huge gap between Luxray and Slowbro, which isn't a lot of threatening mons, but some mons will be definitely annoying in that speed tier. And then
I think the biggest speed gap was between like 91 and 70. Oh, wait, no, is that within the gap?
No,
Is
that
it?
is not in the. I wanted to
Oh.
mention it as well. The biggest gap
Yeah.
is 70 and 30, but 91 to 70 is very annoying to have as well. Because like there's some strong mons
more
around
important.
80 and 80, so not necessarily what you want to do. Also, your fastest mon is a prankster mon, which most of the time Whimsicott doesn't need the speed because most of the time it's click and support moves anyways.
Yeah.
I did like the speed for strong moonblast or fast moonblast.
Yeah. The hazard setting is pretty good. I think a backup spiker would be good because Mega Glalie is not necessarily best spiker because it's not coming a lot. Removal wise, there's also like the problem of not having a spinner, but you have good 3 good defoggers, so I think it can be forgiven.
It's
I've seen
workable.
worse.
Fine.
Yeah.
Breaking power wise, physically you have Mega Glalie, Lando T, Terra Luxray, and I think that's a Terra Snorlax. Let me double check though. Yeah, Terra Snorlax as well. And especially is where it is very amazing. You have Irimoth, Keldeo, Mega Glalie, Hydreigon, Lando T, which can run special sets, and Slowbro, which can run special offensive sets. Especially this team is very amazing. Physically, it's also pretty good, so nothing to scoff at offensively. This team. Support-wise, you
100%.
also have good options. One, you have a Prankster Mon and Whimsicott, which can be very annoying, spreading Prankster Paras and stuff. You have a Trick Room mode with Snorlax and Slowbro. You have a good chunk of a good amount of momentum.
Letter T is just like it obviously can run offensive sets, but it's also just like almost the perfect support one with like Defog, U-turn, knock, toxic taunt.
Yeah, exactly.
Even just having like intimidate support, like it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tinkaton again also will support pretty well. Like setup rock, spread thunder waves, being annoying. Hazard support is also pretty good. So nothing to really gripe at. One thing that I would like to mention: wish support can be good here as well, but it's not necessary on this team because a lot of mons have recovery naturally.
Yeah, the only one you're missing out on is like you might be forced to rest Snorlax a decent bit.
Yeah.
On this team, unless I'm wrong, it also doesn't have a cleric to like heal up. So you either just need to like firm it or do rest stock.
Yeah.
Right, I guess rest assist too. But
I'm pretty sure though. Or wait, does it? No, actually, it does not. Whimsicott does not get aromatherapy, so yeah, no, that could be annoying.
That does not feel right.
So you don't have a cleric.
That feels wrong.
So that seems like a little bit of an issue, because this team might hate status spread a lot more than some previous teams. Okay, then we get into problem solving, where if you look at the team, you're mostly gonna know what most of these mons will do. Whimsicott, annoying prankster mon that is fast. Irimoth, special attacker. Keldeo, special attacker with setup options if you want to. Glalie can run both offensive or just explode on you. Hydreigon is very versatile. Same with Lando. Lando being two very, very versatile mons. Tinkaton not so much. It has its niche sword stance sets, but it's mostly going to be like the defensive support mon. It is. Luxray is going to be an offensive mon. Maybe has like some weeks where it will run like an intimidate set if needed be. Slowbro is pretty versatile, and Snorlax as well. So you have a good chunk of versatility. Some mons drag down the problem solving / versatility stat though, because they basically only do one thing.
Yeah.
Overall, when I look at this team, I mean it's pretty well put in like the points as well, or like the ranking. I don't think anything here is like exceptional, but everything is just like pretty good.
Yeah.
Like when I look at this team, I'm not like super scared compared to some teams where like they have like an insane breaking power. But this team just has a lot and has like basically everything is like pretty good and pretty solid, and like as a whole, it's better than a lot of the other teams because it doesn't have any like massive flaw like other teams have.
Yeah, exactly. This team
Yeah.
has barely any
The holes on
flaws
the team
except
are,
for
I
like
was about to say, the holes on are very like minimal.
yeah. It's like only a few grabs, like the speed tiers, like between Luxray are a little wonky, but otherwise this team has no prevalent issues. Which gets us into number 4, Aaron.
It's Pookie!
So,
I thought that was Droopy.
typing.
I have a lot of boyfriends. I'm a bit of a whore.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Emilio is our favorite slot.
Yeah, Emilio has a lot of
Fair.
Pookies. Apparently, I'm his husband, so yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a polyamorous
Yeah,
relationship?
You were
Yes,
home
of
at.
course. It's a homoamorous
Okay, yeah, it's good.
relationship.
As long as your girlfriend's okay with it.
It's sexual. Anyways.
Anyways, let's get into the typings. Aaron is not missing any necessary type. Having an electric type would be pretty nice. And a dragon type is always nice for elemental weaknesses. Like fire, water, electric, grass.
Fire, water, electric, grass, yeah.
Speed tiers wise, you have huge gap between Darkrai and Victini, which is a little bit abusable by some mons. Obviously, 115 mons and stuff will be very annoying. Like everything from 115 to up to Darkrai will run Modest or Adamant. Hazard setting is amazing. Like holy shit, you're.
You got Pharaoh Gliscor. You're fine, bro.
Yeah, and then you have 2 backup rockers,
Wow.
Avalugg and Corsola if you want to. Removal is pretty fine as well. With Avalugg.
Wait,
This is a Terra Avalugg as well, if I'm correct.
Does regular Avalugg get Stealth Rocks? I didn't know it did.
It did.
Oh fucking hell! I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure Fez also gets defog, by the way. I could
No,
be
Fez
wrong on
does
that.
Fez does not get
Fez does not get defog. I would
Really?
draft Fez a lot more if he got defog. I promise you that.
Damn.
But you have
If you
like,
got defog, I draft it.
you have Gliscor, which is a nice defogger to have, although it has 4 move slot syndrome a lot. And Illumise with Prankster defog if you need it. Now the weaknesses though. This team has not a single flying resist.
Yeah, it needs an electric type or like a steel type that's
Also,
not weak to flat lying.
The doc's wrong. Avalugg does not get rocks. Only the Hisuian one.
Okay, so Doc's
I mean,
fine.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But it's,
He has
Yeah.
Gliscor
It's
Pharaoh,
fine.
and he's fine. It doesn't matter, yeah.
That's why I was like, I swear Avalugg does not get Stealth Rock. I feel like I'd use it more if it did.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have a flying resist at all. You have only 1 real rock resist because I feel like Lopunny still takes a lot from rock moves. Well, fair.
yeah, I don't think that's that big of a deal. Like most teams won't have a rock type, but the flying resistance or like the lack of that is actually a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good flying types that can, like, and even just like spamming like Terra Flying Terra Blast, like facing like a Specs Torn or like a, I guess this or like even just like a Choice Band Gyarados. I don't think it was picked up, but something like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also are pretty weak to fire. Victini can resist fire moves, and Vaporeon as well. Vaporeon is one of your Terra caps, so it might Terra out of the water type a few times. So some glaring weaknesses, especially flying and the big speed tier gap. Otherwise, the essentials are pretty good. Breaking wise, physically you have Mega Lopunny, you have Victini, and you have Avalugg / Gliscor if it wants to set up. Same with Pheasantipede if it wants to send up. Especially you have Darkrai, you have Victini, you have Vaporeon. So breaking definitely could get a little bit of help. You have 2 very good attackers in Lopunny and Darkrai. You add to that a Victini, like some niche attackers if you want to with Gliscor or Vaporeon if needed be. So I think
No, but I feel like this team opens up like something like an offensive Gliscor.
Yeah.
The way the team is set up.
This team also gets a lot of offense through the amount of hazards they have, which I will transition to support because this team's hazard support is the best one we've seen so far, by far.
Really good. It's like really good.
Yeah, you have good taunters, you have 2 good knockoffers. You can set up a trick room if needed be for Avalok or Pharaoh. Probably won't, but you can. Momentum is good.
Probably won't.
You have a cleric, you have wish passing, you have everything basically you need on this team support. But it could be honestly a 10 on support because of just how.
Just you wait for choice band Pharaoh. Those gyro balls hurt.
Oh yeah,
Dude, if this was fucking Hisuian Avalug and he can be in Trick Room and he could actually click Mountain Glaive, that should be fire.
yeah. Let's get into problem solving, which is a little weaker again than the support, but still pretty good. Megalop is a physical attacker. It can fit like an Encore on if you needed to. Darkrai is pretty versatile in the sense it has a lot of move variety, and it can run physical with Sword Stand or just like the niche Pursuit Trapping set. Victini obviously
Or just like slap knockoff on it.
Yeah. Obviously Victini
It's like a fourth move on like
very
three special
versatile.
attacks.
Then you have Pheasantipede, which is also very versatile. Gliscor on this team is not forced into any role, so it's also versatile. Illumise is Prankster support. Vaporeon mostly a cleric, but it has some offensive sets or setup sets if you want to. Of course, Sludgy is Sludgy. It will do its one job, and it does that job pretty well. Avalok, Avalok with Terra gets a little more versatility since it won't be like.
It'll be an ice type.
Yeah, it won't be nice. It won't necessarily be forced into boots because it has recovery. So you could actually run like an AV Avalok if you ever need to with Terra.
And we know Aaron loves the table.
Yeah.
Like Aaron loves the table.
I don't think you'd ever want or an AV Avalog, but
It's a very, very niche situation where it happens, but it could happen.
What moves do you run on AV Avalug?
Avalanche.
Body press,
Spin,
EQ, ice move, fourth.
Yeah.
Oh, Miracle fourth.
And then obviously you have
Miracle,
Ferroform, which is not that versatile, but it does its job amazingly. And that earns Aaron the overall score of 31. And Aaron's team is amazing. I would draft that team and I would probably enjoy using it because just the sheer amount of hazards is so fun.
Yeah, the only negative I'd say is that or the biggest obviously the hazards help a lot. With Terra, it's better, but at the same time, it would have been nice to have a more reliable spinner.
Yes, of course.
Obviously, that's tough to fit, but
Yeah.
it would have been nice, if the best defog or the best removal option wasn't Gliscor, or I guess Terra Avalok.
Yeah, and then obviously the flying weakness is pretty bad, but I think.
Oh yeah, that is of course.
I think Aaron will be able to deal with it. He's a good player, so.
And I think you're underestimating how much he'll probably end up bringing Avalug.
Yeah,
he does really like that thing.
I guess it's fair. Yeah.
At number 3, we have the person who disagreed with Pate and saying no one said that shit when Pate said people say I'm decent at this game.
That's funny as shit. He said, and people say I'm decent at the game. Response: no one has said that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Amazing. It's Baby Dragon's Art, aka Taco, the last season champion of Clodsire.
Guy who beat Zeb in finals. Oh my god, Zeb, talk some shit.
It's fine. I mean, I think that was his second win out of or second win out of 7 games, I think. I was 5-1 until then.
Oh shit, Taco.
But you lost an important game, so I guess that matters more.
Just call him a Mexican. Oh my god. Sorry.
I mean, it's true.
There you go.
Anyway, let's get into it. Typing-wise, he's not missing any necessary typing. Electric would be nice to have, but it's not necessary. He also doesn't have any big weaknesses, which is also good. Speed tiers-wise, speed tiers look good until you get to Florges. He has a huge gap between Florges and Dragalge, which is a fine gap to have because most slow mons will run Adamant or Modest anyways because they're so bulky. But yeah. You could fix it, but with how this team is constructed, you don't need to. Hazard wise.
I only grasp where this team's come from like hazards.
Yeah, that's what I want to mention. Hazards and removal is awful. That's like a very awful part about this team. Because your hazard
I
center...
wouldn't call it awful. I wouldn't call it awful.
No,
They
it
could 100%
is
be-
awful.
It's not awful. It could be better.
Basically,
got, like,
your
one good
reliable
marker, one
hazard
good
setter is Bronzong and maybe T-Spike Dragalge.
No spikes.
You don't have spikes.
That's what I don't like.
And your defoggers are all mons that don't really like running defog except for Florges in some matchups.
I think
Serps a
Florges is
fine defogger.
I think it's an alright defogger, but I do wish
Like-
there was one more good set of removal, one more good set of hazards, and then
I definitely agree on that. From like,
Yeah. Now we get
especially
I just want
with,
to
like
see
with Lando being two of them. Like Lando's, I think Lando's a fine rocker because like it forces a lot of switches, but I don't think it's a terrible defog.
Yeah.
Emma does not click defog.
Yeah, but let's get into the part which makes this team as amazing as it is.
Roy just
as
fall
it
asleep?
is.
Did Roy just fall asleep?
I think so.
Wait.
Is he actually snoring?
yes, yes. He did say he was drunk.
This is a first for Clodcast. Anyways, let's get into Taco's team. Breaking power. The amazing part about this team.
I'd feel bad if we. Yeah.
I muted
There you
him.
go.
Oh, good. If
We
he
love you,
wakes
Roy.
up-
We love you, Roy.
If he wakes up, just
He'll
you
send a
should
message.
just
He'll send a
ping
message. Yeah.
breaking power. Physically offensive, you have Weavile, you have Lando, you have Urshifu Rapid, you have Arcana and Hisui, and like niche sets like Zora, Hisui with Sword Stance or Coil Superior. Especially Superior, Zora, Hisui, Lando again, Florges, Adaptability Head Dragalge, I meant. Every single mon on this team can hit hard, except for Bronzong. Even that will still hit hard with a body press.
Or gyrable, just
Yeah,
decent
gyrable.
mention to like a fast mon.
So yeah, this
So-
team hits like a motherfucker. And it's very
The team
offensive laid out.
Fox. Team Fox.
Support-wise, considering it's a very offensive team, you don't have that much removal. Okay, Roy is awake.
Yeah, I've been
Is
away.
he?
I just keep. Yeah, I've been away the whole time.
It sounded like you were snoring.
Really?
No, I wasn't. I was yawning. No, it was you. I was just tired.
Okay.
Anyway,
Likely story, right?
anyway, support-wise, you have a cleric, which is Florges, which is my favorite cleric in the game. I love using Florges.
Hmm.
You have lots of knock, lots of taunt. Hazard support could definitely be better considering this is an offensive-minded team. An offensive-minded team is law of hazards. And considering it's
Yeah,
an offensive-minded team, momentum is also a little weak.
They only have really one like rocker that will offer comic because Arcana Hisui's rarely running it, and Lando I doesn't really like running it as well. T Spikes or Dragalge is kind of rare.
Yeah.
So support could be better, but
Yeah.
they've got a Florges. They've got what they
Florges
need
hard carries this category, but yeah.
100%. He's still got best knockers in fucking Weavile. He's got good taunters as well.
Yeah.
I think it's still very good.
Yeah.
Fine. He's got glare support. Glare support is also very nice to have always,
Yeah, of course.
if you can have it. So I like it.
Yeah. Then we have
It's-
problem solving where versatility is definitely a thing for this team, with Lando being versatile, Arcana and Hisui with Terra obviously being versatile. The other Terra captain's Florges, by the way, which also makes it very versatile in that sense that it can set up a lot more freely with the Terra. Superior.
And he
has-
actually gets coverage with like Terra Ground or Fire.
Yeah. Then you have Superior, which is versatile. Orcus, who has a good chunk of versatility. Urshifu Rapid and Weavile are mostly like physical attackers. Dragalge is doing its job in like being a special defensive wall with like adaptability, nukes, and Bronzong is the defensive mon on this team basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it does what it does. And you know what? My Pookie drafted a team. Also, he drafted Arcanine and Hisui, bro. I fucking hate that mon. I feel
Taco has started drafting and playing so much better like the start of last year, and it's amazing to see the transformation of his.
He's got so many chips, bro.
Yeah. Let's get into a person with only one chip, Emilio.
This team was shit. This team
Hell
was
yeah.
so bad. Like this team is a horrendous team.
God.
Let's get into
Is it time for me to go bye-bye? Is it time for me to go bye-bye?
Yeah, you mute yourself.
Yeah.
Okay,
This team is so bad. Like horrendous team.
let's get into it. Important typings-wise, Emilio's only missing Ghost and Grass, which Grass he doesn't need. He has enough Pokemon that are immune to ground. Like, enough. And Ghost type is also not very necessary. You have enough fighting resist and enough normal resist for that, so that is really not an issue. Speed tiers wise, you have a gap between Latios and Mega Arrow, which is not too bad. And then the rest goes down pretty well, so it is pretty nice speed tiers, I would say. Hazard setting is also pretty good. You have Claw, which is an amazing hazard setter, and 2 backup rockers. A backup spiker would be nice, but Claw can do the job amazingly well. And removal wise,
Only negative with the Clod is that a Clod can be a bit like one of the biggest issues is like for boost loss, where like you have to kind of pick between like trying to stop Setter with like having like Haze Toxic, or do you want hazards?
Yeah.
But still, he still has other options. Like, still has Ukes if he wants like a Haze Clodsire. He could use Ukes as the rocker.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
I think a big problem about these Central Rolls is that he only has defoggers with how good his hazard setting is. Because I feel like his team definitely appreciates hazards being up. So a spinner would be definitely very, very nice.
I will say this: Aerodactyl is a fake defogger. I think it's a very good mod, and I will glaze it up as a Terramon, but it's not a defogger. It's never running defog.
Like the only like mon that likes running defog here is Rotom Heat, but at least you have the options for like if you can't fit Rotom Heat. But like I don't think Caesar or
Latios are gonna run
Caesar or Lottie or Errol. None of them like running defog, but they can if necessary.
Yeah, good spinner.
I don't think Aerodactyl can even.
Oh yeah, I mean mainly that's mainly Mega Caesar.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Breaking power on this team is also pretty nice. Physically, you have the Terra Aerodactyl, which you also have the Terra Primarina. Terra Primarina is amazing. Physically, then also you have Urshifu for single and Mega Scizor. And especially you have Latios, Rotom Heat, the Primarina as mentioned before. This team will hit hard. It has its defensive mons, obviously. 2 of which are pretty passive, I would say. But the rest work well. But yeah. This team hits very hard. Support-wise, it's also pretty amazing. Hazard support, obviously very amazing. Then you have lots and lots of momentum. You have Wish. You can click Trick Room to counter an opponent's Trick Room, if needed be. You have 2 good knockoffers, 2 good taunters. There's nothing really too bad to be said about the support. I'm gonna be real. Like, this team supports itself very well.
The support is great on this team, which is good because Emilio's a stall player, so
yeah, it's surprisingly little recovery.
Yeah, but they have
only on
Wish or
not even half the team has it.
Yeah, to be fair, Wish Audino helps in that sense because it can get Uxie and Rotom Heat back up with HP or Primarina if needed be. Scizor and Clodsire can mostly recover themselves. Same with Latios and Arrow.
Yeah. And Rotom Heat.
Yeah, but Rotom Heat, Pain Split is niche recovery. And then we get into problem solving where Aerodactyl's not that versatile. Obviously, it has like lead sets, but it's mostly going to be like an offensive Pokemon. Latios is pretty versatile in the sense it has a lot of different sets and it can even run Dragon Dance. Urshifu for Single Strike is going to be an physically offensive threat. Uxie mostly going to be support or defensive, but it has niche setup sets. Rotom Heat, offensive, defensive, whatever needed to do. Same with Mega Scizor. Primarina, same thing, offensive, defensive, whatever it needs to do. Audino and Clodsire are not that versatile. Clodsire is a little versatile in the sense it has 2 good abilities and lots of moves it can use. Audino is just a Wish Passer, though.
Yeah.
Now Emilio can unmute himself.
I just want to say I like my team. I like it. But I like a spinner. Probably. Did I get one? No. Can I work around it? Maybe. Who knows? But I like this team. It's
I
one
do
of my favorite
also
mock
just-
drafts in a while.
I do also just want to make it clear again, especially when at this point we know who's first. I was not involved in the voting, so like you might claim this is just
Bias.
mod preference. I was not involved.
Yeah, Emilio was involved in the voting, so that's why they're second there.
Yeah.
Seems legit good, but
Yeah.
Zeb was not
this team is
involved.
legitimately
Y'all
fucking
rated my
amazing.
team.
Zeb
Y'all
was not
rated my
involved. But Zeb
team.
is still number one.
I know. I'm just fucking with Emilio.
Okay.
Jeremy, though, Emilio's team is good, legit good. This team is fucking something else. It has one weakness, I think, which is a speed tier and ghost types.
Yeah. Let's get into Zeb's team. Typings wise, you're missing normal, ghost, dragon, and fire, which you could call essential. Dragon not as much. You don't need a fire type necessarily because you have enough resistances to fairy. Normal type could be nice because you only have one dark Pokemon, which is Tinglu, but Tinglu will resist ghost moves like nothing else. And then you also, since you don't have a ghost, you have enough fighting and normal resist, so those are also not an issue. Speed tiers wise, there is a big problem with the gap between Mew / Zapdos and Blastoise, where monsters that are 85 speed and above, well, no, not 85, like 86 or 87 and above, will run Modest and Adamant Set, which there are a few big threats in there, so gotta be careful around those. But Zeb does have a few priority moves if they want to fight those mons. And now we get to an amazing part, hazards and removal. Holy shit, that looks beautiful.
My brother got Tinglu, bro.
Brother got Tinglu, he has Diancie if he wants to fit in. Mew has everything he needs to. Metagross can set up rocks. Terra captains are, by the way, Metagross and Zebstrika.
Of course, it's fucking Zebstrika, you fucking bastard. Anyways.
Yeah, the essential roles are amazing. Everything filled out as needed be. The weaknesses are not as bad as they look, for example. The ice weakness looks bad, but Blastoise takes ice moves very well. Same with Metagross, although it might sometimes tear out of the ice resistance. Then Tinglu takes any ghost move it needs to. And then the ground weakness is a little bit more of an issue, but you have Levitate, Wheezing, and Zapdos, which will are obviously immune to those. And Sceptile can take one ground move. Not more, probably, because Sceptile is very frail, but it can take one.
No,
at least
many,
one
but
a match.
one.
I mean,
At least
to be
one.
fair, Tinglu can take at least 3, so you're fine.
Yeah.
It is a team.
Yeah, we get into the breaking power, which this team also does pretty well. You have Sceptile, which has a good special attack, and has Sword Stance sets, which it can abuse with Unburden because there is a Terrain Setter in Weezing Galar. Then you have Zebstrika, which hits very hard, especially with Bolt Beam coverage since it's Terra. Sneasel doesn't hit as hard, but it does its job well for what it will do. Mega Diancie obviously hits very hard on both attacking sets. Mew can set up on both attacking sets. Zapdos hits hard on the special side. Blastoise can Shell Smash and be a threat. Metagross obviously a very, very, very big physical threat and can run special sets if needed be. Weezing is more passive than the rest of the mons, and Tinglu can hit very hard physically if you wanted to. The breaking power isn't higher because some mons will run defensive sets more often, but it's still good enough.
Shell Smash Blastoise kind of cheeks, bro, so I'm not going to count on that. Weezing Galar is like kind of passive.
I
like
will
you
say
said.
this.
Tinglu
When
can hit hard, but it's not I wouldn't call it a breaker, but it hits hard.
I will say this: when Shell Smash Blastoise is not your main option, it's a fucking threat. Like, it can just catch you off guard, and you don't just have to run special. Physical Shell Smash Blastoise can fucking sweep too.
Yeah. Support-wise, this team is also very good, obviously, because the hazard support for one, you have Wish Passing, you have Heal Bell, you have Trick Room options, you have only 2 knockoff monsters, because I think Metagross gets knockoff now, if I'm not wrong on.
Correct.
He got like 20.
Yeah,
He got 20 moves nowadays.
Yeah, so you have to
You said what?
you have one great knockoffer, one knockoffer if it can fit it, because Mew, we obviously know Mew has 4 move slot syndrome. Great taunters, a good chunk of momentum. Again, here nothing really to complain about. You have everything you need for support. Like, then we get into problem solving. Obviously, you have Mew, which is the best problem solver in the game because it can do anything you want it to. And then you have mons like Diancie, which are versatile. Zebstrika and Sceptile, which are offensively versatile. Zapdos is versatile. Blastoise is versatile. Metagross is versatile, especially with Terra. Tinglu and Weezing not that much, but they have like niche options.
Sometimes.
Tinglu is defensively versatile. Like it can mold into basically what you need defensively.
Yeah. Yeah, but basically this.
I will say this.
Does everything.
I want to glaze about. Can I glaze about this team slightly for a second? What I like about this team.
Yes.
This is what a perfect Mew team is because Mew can come whatever you need it to. Because Seb has drafted a team without. If you take Mew out, it's still a very good team. Mew adds to it because Mew can just cover. Can just be whatever you need it to in a matchup. It can set up. It can be hazard. It can be like school breaker.
This is how Mew should be drafted. This is how Mew should be drafted.
Exactly. Like this is fantastic. This is a very good draft.
Now, Zeb, you can unmute yourself and talk about your team a little bit if you want to.
Yeah. I definitely like my team. I am actually a bit surprised it's this high. Because like the major problem I guess for me is that I have speed, but it's very fake. Like Sneasel, Seb, and Sceptile being my 3 months above 110 is not great.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's like the only problem, or the biggest problem that's sticking out to me.
Yeah, of course. But on paper you have them, so we have to take them into account on the rankings.
Yeah, fair. Like, I'm not sure how many games they're coming to, but they're still like bringable mons.
Yeah,
at least.
Especially, it's not just like, oh, you have like 1 month. Like, there's still 3 of them, and I think all 3 of them still have a possibility to come. So it's like,
fair. Yeah.
It's not just one. Let's say, and I put this in quotations, one fake speed tier, but you have 3 that are all like, even very like bringable in certain matchups, and they're all very viable brings. From time to time.
The only one I would not call like a viable bring is probably Sneasel Hisui because it will probably never come. Maybe one time if you really need it.
I mean, there are some teams that don't have a poison, and like against those teams, they might actually like struggle to switch into the combination of like poison fighting.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but Zeb's team is number 1.
I don't think you give it as much.
Yeah. I do also want to say it's funny just how much Mew fills out just all the like the moves on the side.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up. I noticed that. I was just like,
it's beautiful.
I mean, it helps. Yeah, and I do agree. Like
Mew's just everywhere.
I like how like I don't need Mew to do anything here, and that, like you said, that's a good part of the team. Is like Mew can kind of just do whatever it wants each week, and I don't have to bring like. There are some teams I have looked at with Mew like you have to bring bulky Mew every game. I don't have to. I might, but I don't have to.
Yeah, you're not letting your
like the
Mew
common
be
problem.
You're not letting your Mew be Spider-Man like Embiid is letting his Jirachi be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your Mew actually has like free will. It can roam. It's free.
Yeah. But that's the Clodsire power
cute.
rankings. We ranked all 16 teams. A long video again. A little too long. My girlfriend is pissed at me currently because we've taken so long, including the preparation time me and Emilio had to do before adding the memes.
Yeah, because I could have sworn Roy said he didn't, but he didn't. So.
No. I never said no. I said I did rankings. I never said I did memes.
He lied to us.
If y'all.
But even then, still hashtag blame. Hashtag blame them. Bring it back.
You know where I am.
Really Ben's fault.
Emilio loves
Anyways,
Aaron.
I'd like.
Thank you.
I love Aaron. Hashtag free Roy. Hold on. Wait. What did he want me to say? Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, free me. Okay.
Hashtag free Ray. Hashtag Oregon sub. That's what
hashtag blame Ben.
Yeah.
Love Ray.
Anyway, thank you for watching.
Hashtag Paige doing ASMR video.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. These were the Clodsire Prs. Some insightful stuff, especially from Zeb's side. I feel like every time Zeb gets on, he actually talks more about like in-depth stuff than we do.
Because Zeb's like hot and like Norwegian, bro.
And I'm a drunk Brit, so what do I have to add?
You're the entertainment.
You're the entertainer.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So you were drunk, you fell asleep, and you blazed low tears with us. So like, thank you.
Anything?
That's right, no problem. I did fall asleep. I just basically was like, sounded like I was asleep, so I had nothing to add while you guys were a bit intelligent. But I'm just drunk. I'm drunk as fuck.
Yeah, likely
Anything
story.
you guys want to add to the end of the episode?
I'd like to say, thank you for joining us. I hope you all have an excellent season. I need everyone in the server to say to ping Spike and say thank you. Just say thank you, Spike, or thank you, go, anything like that. Just say thank you, Spike. Hope you all have a fun season. We're fucking tired. We've done this for we've been making PRs for like forever. It fucking feels like. So we're finally freed from the shackles of PRs.
Yeah.
Because Jesus fucking Christ, we've been doing nothing but PRs for the past like 5 days.
Yeah.
Maybe even longer. So have fun, everybody.
Zeb, Roy, any last words?
Alcohol is good. I've had fun. These have been fun. A lot of work, and like I said, I did the rankings. The memes for this were Emilio's job.
Zeb?
Yo.
All I have to say is, go Newcastle, go PSG. Woo.
Anyways, guys.
You, that was disgusting.
Thank you for watching. This were the Clodsire PR. Next week we're coming back. We're coming with weekly recaps. I hope everybody enjoys their season. And above all else, have a good day and enjoy. Goodbye.
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 Bye, guys.
Spike.